Hello everyone and welcome back to another PokeMondays. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been such a long time. In fact, let me know if you can even hear me, because I can't hear me in my headphones. Am I on my own? Can people hear me? Mark, I know you're there. Roberta, you're there. Bertie, even. Good, people can actually hear me. Yeah, it's been a while since our last PokeMondays, and for reasons that, well, if you've seen our most recent channel update, you'll kind of know why. Mark, you are absolutely right. Travis, if people don't know who Travis is a bot that just appears in our streams every now and then. You'll see him pop up a few times with some weird spelling mistakes every now and then, but it's good to have him here because it's good for engagement. He was in here before the stream even started, so fair enough. And Mark, to answer your question about Lucky Steve the Lucky Charizard, his services aren't required today because we're not actually opening packs of cards. What we are opening is, I have, well, 3 big boxes. I don't know how many boxes within boxes I have, but these are essentially all the cards that we got from previous PokeMondays and a few other streams and other services as well. There's over 120 cards here that went off to ace grading for, well, for grading. And this is kind of an interesting thing to process to go through, because you never really know how they're going to come back. Just because you've pulled something out of a pack or out of a box and it's box fresh, it seems to be perfect, doesn't mean that it's going to be a 10. And in terms of collectability, it can vary quite a lot depending on what the grade is. Now, obviously, some of these I'm going to keep, some of these I'll probably end up selling, but this is kind of where we have a look at the fruits of our labour from, well, for about 6 months worth of PokeMondays, opening, God knows, I don't even want to know how many packs we opened. It must have been at least 1,000, if not more. I just don't want to think about it. So, we're going to go through these. I have no idea how long this is going to take. This might be a long stream, it might be a short stream. I sent these off months and months ago, so it's the actual sort of quantity of how much it is to look at has gone out of my head a little bit. So this is going to be interesting for me to dive back into this. I mean, to be fair, this is the first PokeMondays we've done in 3 months, I guess. So what happens is we get these back in big boxes, and then when you open them up, you get a box like this. And then I've already taken the packaging out, but I haven't had a look at these yet. When you open them up, lots of graded cards inside, normally in bubble wrap, I have to point out, just in case you're thinking ace grading, send them like this. So, I have no idea what these are going to be in. They're not necessarily going to be in any order. They're just going to be how they came out of the box. So, we'll see what we've got and see if, well, I'm hoping they're better than last time, because last time it was a bit confusing, really. We had one come back that was counterfeit, which I still don't know how that happened, but it is what it is. All of the ancient Mews that you got, you know, the ones that you got free when you went to go watch the first movie back in 2000, they all came back ungraded because apparently they were too big for the case or something, even though it was a, you know, you could select it as one of the options for them to grade. They all came back ungraded. And then the metal Charizard card from the Pokemon Celebrations Ultra Premium collection, that didn't get graded. That one wasn't that much of a surprise because it's quite big and bulky. As far as I'm aware, all of these have come back graded in some kind, so that's one positive. How good they are, I don't know. There's a whole mix of things in this, some that you'll recognise from some of our streams, some you won't recognise because they were opened up off camera, and some that were opened up years and years ago and have been sat in a folder of mine that went off to be graded. So we'll see what we're doing. Hey John, how you doing? What are you most looking forward to find out the grading for? Probably the Celebrations Charizard. If you were on the Pokemon Celebrations stream, we opened up, what, 90 8 packets until we found that. So I'd like to see what that comes back as. I'm trying to remember what else I sent. There's a few Eevee Heroes ones which are quite cool that I'd like to see, and then there's some of the older ones as well. I kind of want to see what they come back as. I think I sent off a few early Team Rocket cards, you know, the ones from around the year 2000. See what they come back as. I can't really think of anything. Oh, there were a few shiny Charizards from the Shining Fates ones as well. There was, I think there was a shiny, as it were. You know, the black Charizard. There was the full art version of that Charizard. I think we got an English version and a Japanese version that we sent off. So we'll see what they come back as. But probably the Celebrations Charizard. So let's dive into it. So first of all, we can tell that this is going to be a Japanese card. Okay, this is cool. This is the Blastoise Vmax. So this is these are actually relatively easy to get, the Japanese versions. The English versions, I can't remember what expansion they come in, but this comes in a starter set. So you buy a starter set and you're guaranteed, I think, 2 of these and 2 Blastoise Vs. I don't think I sent the Blastoise Vs to be sent off, but I did send off the 2 Vmaxes, which in fact, if I put that down, I'm guessing that's what this one is going to be. It's probably going to be the other. Oh, no, it's not. We'll get back to that one in a minute. So yeah, you get 2 of these. And what's quite good about getting 2 in a set is that you can send off 2 cards from the same box, which supposedly should be identical, but they're not always. And that comes down to a few different things. One thing with ace grading is they don't actually do subgrades. Now, normally, what we mean by subgrades is at the top of the packaging, whatever you want to call it, the casing, sometimes they'll give a grading for certain things. So it might be centering. So if the artwork is slightly off center in terms of the printing, it could be to do with the condition. It could be to do with all sorts of things. So that's a good indicator of, you know, what exactly classifies a 9 or a 10 or whatever. Fortunately, you don't get those. You can get them, I think, by paying for extra, but I'm not that interested in knowing, really. I just kind of want to see, you know, some of these cards that we opened up on streams, send them off, see what they come back as. And also, I quite like Ace Grading's cases because they're thick and sturdy. Sometimes you can see a little bit of the glue from where they've been glued together, but also they haven't done with this one, but you can actually get sort of quite nice labels on there. So Ace Grading do a pretty good service. And they're... what's the way to put this? They're not harsh. Well, no, they are harsh. My shiny Charizard that came back as a 1, I was annoyed with that one. But one thing that I said in the video that we did on this is that when it comes to their grades, if something comes back as a 9, you know it's pretty damn near perfect. And obviously a 10 gem mint is going to be even better, but even like a 6 in ace grading is relatively good condition. There are other services out there, because this has become like a cash cow ever since COVID and people cashing in on old collectibles and, you know, things that they had time to go through. You can't send them off to PSA anymore because they've got I think 2-year waiting list, and PSA also charge based on what the card's worth is. I think they add a premium to it. So PSA kind of have not gone off a lot of people's radars. So businesses have been popping up everywhere, and they often grade better, or should I say, they'll give a higher grade than they should do, because then they think that that's what's going to bring you back to use their service again. But a lot of the time people are grading their cards, A, to protect them, or B, as an investment. And okay, and you not called me at all. Wow, Travis bot spelling is getting even worse. What was I saying? Oh yeah. A lot of the time, if you are doing this for an investment, it's kind of a waste of money, because people are going to, if you're trying to sell these things, people know which of the services that are reputable and ones that grade properly. Now, I've said ace grading are a bit on the harsh side, but as I say, that
shiny Charizard. If that was a 1 with ace grading, I think probably people would give it a 4 or a 5. And if you're a buyer, seeing that graded as a 4 or a 5 when someone else would do it a 1, it's not ideal, because you think you're getting something better than it is. So even though I know ace grading is harsh, if I'm buying an ace graded card, if buy a card that's being pre-graded, I know I'm getting something quality, which is always a positive. So I can't fault them on that at all. So we're going to look out for another one. I'm going to put this aside, and we're going to be looking out for another one of these, because, as I say, you're guaranteed 2 of these in the Japanese starter set for, it's not for an expansion, it's literally just a starter set. So we'll look out for the other one of those, and we'll compare and contrast the 2 and see if they're getting the same grade or not. Woohoo, PokeMondays is back. Hello there from France. Well, bonjour, ou bonsoir, I believe. It's probably 9:10 there. Yeah, it's back for now. As I say, if you have seen the channel update, PokeMondays isn't going away. It's just that doing a weekly stream wasn't viable anymore. So you're still going to see streams like this. You're still going to see me playing the some of the early Game Boy games, and we got some of the really, really, really cool homebrews and hacks that I've been looking forward to playing for years. I've been saving to do things like this, like Pokemon Brown and Pokemon what's the other one called? Prism. I played Pokemon Prism a little bit, and it's fantastic, and I stopped playing it because I wanted to play it with other people. So those things are coming. It's just that you won't see it every week, that's all. But that means that we can put more time into long dedicated streams, because obviously I'm aware that people watch all over the world, not just in Europe, but people are watching in the US, people sometimes watching sort of further east as well, in Indonesia. So there's going to be longer streams that are a little bit later in the UK. This started at 8 o'clock, but they go on for longer as well, and shaking things up a little bit to get the best quality streams rather than just a stream every week, if that makes sense. Okay, so moving on, we've got another Japanese card. We already got a glimpse of what this one was, and that is Charizard V. Now again, this is from a starter set, but what's interesting about this is we'll go through these as we go along, obviously, and you'll start, because I don't know what order these are in. There are 3 starter sets, as you might imagine, from 2020 in Japan. There's a Charizard one, there's a Blastoise one, and there's a Venusaur one. Now, just like the Blastoise one and the Venusaur one, you're guaranteed 2 of the V and 2 of the Vmax. The Charizard set, I can't remember how many of the V you're guaranteed, but with the Vmax you're only guaranteed 1. Now that might seem a bit harsh, but the European or the American version, the English language version of that Charizard VMAX is worth hundreds. So if you're a collector and you just want a card because you think it's cool, quite often you should look at either the Japanese card or even the Korean card, because I think there's a Korean one as well in here somewhere, because they're a lot cheaper, because sometimes it's just how they're packaged. We've seen in PokeMondays as we've been going along, the expansions are similar, but they're not always the same. Sometimes you'll see expansions that have been consolidated for the West, because Japan get more of them, and then sometimes something like this you'll get in just a starter set, which is actually a hell of a lot easier, because you know you're guaranteed a card like that. So it's always worth having a look around at that. It's another 9 on that. Can't be too upset with that. I mean, if they're 9s and 10s, that's great. I mean, most of the cards that we were opening up were brand new, so you'd hope that they'd be 9 or 10s. They're not always going to be that. So we got another Japanese card, and it is... okay, well that explains that then. You did get 2 Charizard Vs, but still only 1 VMAX. But there we go. So those 2 cards were both out of the same package, and both came back as a 9. So at least we know that the Japanese starter sets are... well, at least the Charizard one, the one that I got, was relatively consistent. They're not always consistent, though. Okay, so we got a Western card now, and it is... okay, so this was from the Pokemon Celebrations set. So there were a few of these. If you remember that in the Pokemon Celebrations streams, I did a video beforehand which had the Ultra Premium collection, which is what this is from. They had a couple of gold cards. They had this one, the Pokeball, and then they also had a Pikachu, which is probably going to be in here too. And then they had some metal cards as well. They had the metal shiny Charizard and the metal Pikachu. Can't get those graded, at least from ace grading anyway, because of the size of them. They're metal cards. They're literally metal that's then been galvanized. It's not real gold, but you know what I mean. And then there was the gold normal cards. So there will be 2 of these. It might even be the next card. See, now that's a 7. That's interesting. That is brand new, out of the box, out of a very expensive set, in fact. I can't remember what I paid for it, but the box itself is going for over $1,000 now. I definitely didn't pay that, but brand new out of the box, only a 7. But again, a 7 from ace grading is pretty good. I mean, looking at that myself, I have maybe it's slightly not centered properly, but then they probably all are because it overlaps here. So I actually wouldn't be able to pick out any faults in that. The texture looks fine, the gold looks fine, the back looks fine. Oh, wait, no, there is a little bit, to be fair, there is a little imperfection in the printing there. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what puts it down as a 7 rather than anything else. But again, from a collector's point of view, that's my fingerprint, if people are wondering. From a collector's point of view, if you see that as a 7 from some of the smaller companies, probably wouldn't go for it. 7 from ace grading, pretty on the nose, to be fair. I mean, in terms of, maybe slight imperfection, but again, I think that's an imperfection on the back of the card, not the front. Okay, what's up next? Well, there you go. There's the Pikachu. From the same box, this one is a 9, which doesn't have that imperfection on the back. Sorry, my fingerprints are showing up as quite sweaty on this. Hey, Shane, how you doing? So, yeah, so these 2 cards, both from the same set. One a 7, one a 9, but I think I can understand the 7 on that one. I think that's fair. Bit of a shame. I mean, it's a shame that it's gone down 2 grades just for that little thing on the back, but not too bad. And I do like these gold cards. I mean, the Pokeball one's a bit weird. I mean, it's a bit of a weird one to highlight, but the Pikachu one's nice. I like that one. We got a few of those now, actually. Because we didn't do a stream. The first time I sent stuff off to ace grading, I think I got 30-odd cards back. We didn't do a stream on that, but we did do a video. You should be able to see that either on this channel or on Pomelo Retro Extra, if you missed any of those. So if you're watching this stream and wondering where some cards are that you might have seen on PokeMondays, it might be on that video, because this was the big haul. This is 120-odd cards, but there was a smaller one with about 30 cards earlier on. So another Western card. Again, like, the actual casings of ace grading aren't always perfect, but anyway. Aha! There we go. That's it's a bit of an anticlimax that it's come this early, but that's the shiny Charizard from the Celebrations set that we opened. We waited 98 packs to open, and it's come back as a gem mint as well. That one's a bit of a result, actually, to be fair. Happy with that. And also, this is the first one of the... you see, ace grading does these sort of premium labels sometimes for the more collectible cards. They're not always available. They sort of introduce more and more as we go along. But obviously, this one was available for... I mean, it's probably all cards of this series. You know, they've released this card a few times. All the way back, all the way back to the original Wizards of the Coast card, which are... In fact... Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to go grab my original one, but got graded as a 1, and we're going to compare those. So just talk amongst yourselves for a sec. As I trip over all the boxes coming back. Okay, so that was the original one, and they're pretty much the same labels. So that one is from the original 1999 base set Charizard that came back in the last video, not stream. It kind of highlights just how much that I don't really understand with Pokemon grading sometimes. Obviously, this one is not as good condition, but it's not bad, to be fair. The back is the worst, or more the edges are the worst. But I was a bit confused when this came back as a 1. But either way, I now have the original 1999 base set Charizard and the 2021 Celebrations Charizard, and that's a gem. That's a result that's come back as gem mint. But while we're at it, actually, I just picked up these as well. These are the Charizard Vmaxes that I referred to. So there was three different artworks for this. There was the Shining Fates or Shiny Star V, shiny Charizard, as in like, the purpley black Charizard. Then there was this one was in Darkness Ablaze in the Western sets. But the Darkness Ablaze one of these in the West is really quite collectible and valuable. But this just came in the starter set in Japan. Not that expensive, not hard to find. So this is one of my favourite card designs of all time. If you're looking for the Western one of these, we opened, I think, 130 odd packets of Darkness Ablaze, didn't find one. Japanese set, I think they've gone up in value now, but at the time you could buy the starter set for between 30 and 50 quid, and you were guaranteed one of these. As I say, the Blastoise and Venusaur ones you guaranteed 2, but the Charizard you're guaranteed at least 1. And what was I going to say? Yeah. Now the third one was in. I'm trying to remember the set that it was in the West. No, can't remember the one in the West. But it's only available. It's the rainbow version of this artwork. It was only available as a promotional card in Japan. It was originally going to be for taking part in tournaments in person in real life, and I think there were about 300 of them created. Sorry, but then COVID hit, so they were then sent out to people who took part in a digital competition, and they printed another 300. So there's about 600 in existence. So the Western one is relatively expensive. It's about I don't know, a few £100, but the Japanese one is about 8,000. So as much as I love this card design, I'm probably never going to see the rainbow one, which is a shame. But I grabbed these 3 because these are my only 3 PSA graded cards. I've got a 10 and a 9 of those. But also, confusingly, I've got an Ancient Mew, which apparently didn't fit in Ace grading set. So I have a PSA one instead, and then I have ones that are ungraded. But there we go. So those are my only PSA graded ones. But I just wanted to show you those to give you an idea of the differences between the Western and the Japanese Charizards. So back to it. We got another Japanese card, and this is okay. Now is this the Japanese one? Yes. So Pikachu V-union. Well, all the V-union cards are a bit weird, because they're 4 cards, but they function as 1 card. So if you see on the side, it'll be a bit easier when we've got the English language card. Each one has a move, and each one has I think each one has a hit point as well. Yeah, so no, this is the move here. So 2 lightning energy and 1 colorless energy for whatever move that is, does 250 damage, and then it will have its own set of hit points and so on. Again, I'll explain it a little bit better when we get to the English language one. But then there are 4 different versions of them. But then I can't remember if you can get all 4 of them together and do something with them. This is the only card, or not just the Pikachu one. All the V-union cards are the only ones where having the oversized card is the better option. I do have one over there, but I'm not going to get up again and show you. A lot of the time, oversized cards are a bit of a nothing, really. They're not. It's a nice thing to collect, but it's not really worth much. With V-union, though, the oversized cards are all 4 cards put together. So annoyingly, you can't get those graded because nobody does a case that big. But so that is 1 of 4. So we'll keep this aside. And we're going to go through this and find the other 3. It might even be that they're the next ones up. But we have this in Japanese. We also have it in English. And I also have it in Korean, but I can't remember if I sent the Korean one to be graded or not. But we'll keep that one to the side. So that's the bottom right-hand corner. Is this another one? Yes, it is. Okay, so that's the bottom left-hand corner. So here you go. So you can start to see how the cards begin to fit together. Obviously, they fit a bit together better. That's terrible English. When it's not in a graded case. But all of these cards are different. All 4 of these cards are going to be different. You can see this one. Again, I'm going to have to do it when we've got the English language one. But this one's got the retreat cost on it. This one's got the weakness on it. This one's got a completely different move. Still 2 lightning energy, 1 colourless, but that one does 150 damage. Can't remember what the move is, but we'll get to that when we get to the English cards. In fact, are these all going to be Pikachu V-union? Yes, they are. Okay, so that's the top right. In fact, let's just check the next one. There we go. So there's the top right, top left. You see this is the 25th anniversary, which is pretty much the same as the celebration set. So it's going to be slightly out of focus now because I'm putting them on the bench. But that's top right, top left. And then we get... Oh, this isn't going to work. My camera's too zoomed in. There we go. So essentially that's what the oversized card looks like. So the oversized card is actually pretty cool to have. These are the 4. And to be fair, they look a bit weird, don't they, when they're all individually graded, because they seem like it's only a quarter of the card. But either way, it's quite cool to see all the different artworks of Pikachu. I don't know what that's come from. Does anybody know what that's come from? It seems a little bit like Sonic, if you remember that from the Sega Sonic memes. Okay, another Japanese card. Okay, so this is Pikachu V. This is, again, from the 25th anniversary set. Oh, in fact, actually, I didn't check. Hang on, are these all or not? These Pikachu V-unions, if they're all different grades, that's... So we've got a 9 for the top left, a 9 for the top right, a 9 for the bottom right, 9 for the bottom left. Okay, so at least all 4 of them are the same grade. Hopefully that's the same with the English language one as well. If like 3 of them are the same grade and 1 of them is out, that's going to be really annoying because obviously they all go as a set, all 4 together. Hey, Frenzy fanboy's back. How you doing? So yeah, so back to the Pikachu V. Okay, so yes, so they've actually sort of said, yeah, they call it the 25th anniversary collection, which is the same as the Celebrations set, essentially, just the Japanese version of it. And you can see, again, that's one of the ace labels, or the premium labels, which they didn't have for the Pikachu V-unions. This is just the standard set. I think they have standard, which is black and white, color match, which is 2 different colors, like these 2 colors are to match the card, and then you have the sort of more premium labels, which are specifically for some of the more collectible cards. So that's what that is. Okay, we've got a Western card, which is... Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, no. So this... No, it's not a Western card. This is the Korean version. So this is the Japanese one here. And this is the Korean one. Now, the Korean ones are sometimes cheaper and easier to get. So again, if you're somebody that wants to collect cards just because you like the look of them, you're not really interested in the collectability or the value of them, often it's better to go with the Korean ones because they're pretty much exactly the same. They are the Western backs on them rather than the Japanese backs. But in terms of quality, sometimes the Japanese ones are better, but most of the time the Korean ones are just as good, especially if they're graded, because then they're in the same case. A little bit annoying that that's an 8 rather than a 9, but there you go. But it's good to see the difference between the 2 of them. And the last one for this box is either another Western card or it's a Korean one. Okay, so this is the first of the English language Pikachu V-unions. So this is the top left corner. So I can have a little bit of a look now. Yeah, so I don't quite know how V-union works, because as I say, this has got once per game during your turn, combine 4 different Pikachu V-union from your discard pile and put them onto... okay. So they have to be in your discard pile, and then you can create one big card. You can't use them individually, even though they have individual moves on them. Because I was going to say, this doesn't have hit points or anything on it. So you need the top right-hand corner to know what the hit points are. Okay, fair enough. So we're going to put this one aside, and we're going to see if we get the other 3 out. So we're going to move on to another box. There are 4 boxes in this top box. 4 smaller boxes in the first big box, and I have 3 big boxes. So that'll give you an idea of how quickly this is going to go, where there's a lot to get through. Now, as I say, these would normally be in bubble wrap. I have taken the bubble wrap off just to save a bit of time. Oh, there's more in this one, actually. So just in case you think Ace Grading send these unprotected, they do not. Oh, yeah, there's definitely more in these ones. Okay. So again, either a Western or Korean card. Okay, so this is... That's a Gem Mint 10 as well. So this from the Pokemon Celebrations stream. Now, we got quite a few of these. As I say, in terms of the Charizard, we obviously only got 1. The Zekrom and quite a few of the more collectible... It's quite hard to see that with the lighting, isn't it? That's a bit better, isn't it? You can see it a little bit better there. We got quite a few of these, actually. I don't think I sent them all off for grading. I just sent a few to see what they came back as. I might send a few more off at some point. But this came back as a 10 Gem Mint, which is good. Oh, I'm just trying to get it so you can see a little bit better. And also, it had the Ace label as well. Sorry, I know that's not great with the lighting. But that's cool. So that's another Gem Mint, 10 Gem Mint coming back from the Celebrations set. I think there's quite a lot of Celebrations ones in this. So, well, there we go again. There's a Reshiram one. That's also from the Celebrations set. Another Gem Mint and another one with the premium label as well. That's not bad, actually. We're getting quite a few 10 Gem Mints from the... In fact, what's the lowest we've had so far? Was it an 8? Some of these are coming back pretty good, actually. But there are some older cards, as I say, coming up. So we'll see what they come back as. Some of them have been sat in a binder for about 15, 20 years. So I can't expect 10s for them. But we'll see what they come back as. Oh, 6. Oh, that's not good. Speak too soon. Well, first of all, okay, so this is an example of the colour match label that Ace Grading do. In between their standard one, which is the black and white, and their premium ones, which are sort of with an additional artwork on it. This one was from, I was going to say this one I don't think it was from an actual expansion. It was from a trainer's toolkit. I think I got 2 of these. I don't know if I sent them both off. It'll be interesting to see what 6. I mean 6. See, this is what it is. 6 sounds really harsh. But I'm trying to remember what EXMT. So MT is mint, but I can't remember what EX stands for. But anyway, what would seem like a perfect card isn't always, because I thought that was in almost mint condition, and it's come back as a 6. Now again, it's a little bit annoying that I don't know why. But either way, it's now protected, as I say, because Ace Grading's cases are pretty solid, especially compared to the PSA ones. Like this, the PSA one, if we were to have a look just at the thickness of them, that's not really coming through on camera, is it? But it's probably twice the thickness. So they are, at least that's, that's pretty, that's as good as it's ever going to be. It's never going to get worse than that. But as I say, I think I sent 2 of those off. So we'll see if they both come back as a 6. Okay, so there's another 10 Gem Mint from our celebration stream. That was the one where the birthday Pikachu, where you could write in your own name. Hey Stevie, how you doing? Oh, cool. You love a range of videos. You never sat and learned so much about my child. Well, that's what we do. We overthink so that you don't have to. The Sonic looking Pikachu is called. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's why we wouldn't necessarily recognize it in the West. So yeah, so this was a promo back in the day. I think this was probably a Wizards of the Coast card, and the idea was that you could write in your own name on that. I feel sorry for anybody who did do that nowadays and then see how much some of these can go for. But another 10 Gem Mint. So the Celebrations ones we're doing really well with. Let's see what we got here. Salamence V. Okay, so I think I sent one of these off in the previous video. I can't remember. I definitely did the Vmax. Salamence is one of my... if that's how it's pronounced. For those that are just joining now, that have never been on a Pokemon Mondays before, I don't really watch the anime, but I've played the games ever since I was 11 or 12. So I don't always know the proper pronunciations of Pokemon because the games, obviously, they still don't say them. It's all written down. So I apologize if I mispronounce things. I know some people get a bit anal about that. It's because I don't watch the anime. I watched the anime back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but not since. So if I mispronounce them, that's what it is. So Salamence V, the Vmax of this card is one of my favorites of all time. But I do like the full art version of that as well. So that was from Darkness Ablaze. I can't remember if that was on our stream or whether we got it through something else. We should see the Vmax at some point in this one because I think I sent off a couple more. M size or EX. Okay, so this is one of the slightly older one. Not that old, 2016. That one has come back as a 7 near mint, but I think I know why with that one because I think some of the edges, you might not be able to see that on camera. Some of the edges on this aren't perfect because, as I say, this one is one that's been sat in a binder for, well, it would have been sat in a binder for 6 years, probably, pretty much, before it gets sent off. So that one I wouldn't necessarily expect to get a 10, but it's nice to know that, as I say, something that has sat for that long and probably moved house with me 3 or 4 times is still getting a 7. So that's not too bad. I can't complain with that one. The time the anime doesn't either. Okay, so another Western card. Ash's Peak. Okay, so this is a promo that came with the Ash's Pikachu the Pokemon I Choose You movie back in 2017. But because it came as a promo and was individually packed, a lot of the time they were slightly not bent but curved in the middle. So I think I had a couple of these. 1 or 2 of them ended up getting creases in them. So I sent this one off probably knowing it wasn't going to come back as a 10. But 7's not too bad. I can't complain with that one. And again, this is like the colour match label. I do like that artwork with Pikachu with Ash's cap on. Yeah, again, can't complain with that one too much. It's only really the, however you pronounce it, Dead-End. This is the only one I'm a bit confused by so far. Come back as a 6. That one I'm not so sure about, but it is what it is. Okay, next up. Another Dead. Okay, so that one's come back as an 8. Now that's interesting. Yeah, can't even speak. That one's interesting because these two, I don't think they came out the same box, but I would have opened them up at the same time. Both from a trainer's toolbox. Both look pretty identical to me. I mean, sorry, I'm going to have to look a bit closer, so that's not going to look the best on camera. Yeah, honestly, I'm not seeing anything that would noticeably make that 2 grades better. Not even on the back, if you ignore my sweaty... It's quite hot in here with these lights, so you're going to see sweaty fingerprints on the casings. Good job they're in cases. Yeah, I honestly can't see why one of those is an 8 and one is a 6. So that's a little bit... It's annoying when I can't tell. If there's a slight misprint or there's the edges aren't perfect, like I don't mind it, but when it's almost impossible to see the differences and there's 2 like when it's 1 grade, that's fine. If it's 2 grades, I really don't understand. But anyway, I'm pretty sure it's a remake of the... Oh yeah, I believe so. Pokemon I Choose You, I think, was a remake of the first movie, wasn't it? I haven't actually seen the movie, I don't think. I think they did, wasn't it? Was it done with more computer CG? I don't know. I can't remember. Next up, we've got a Pikachu V. Okay, so this was I'm trying to remember where this is from. Black Star promo from the Pikachu V collection. I don't even remember what box that came out of. But anyway, it's a 9. Obviously, Pikachu Vs are relatively common. The Vmaxes not so much, but when we get to this, at some point in this, as I say, there's going to be a lot of cards to get through. At some point in this stream, there will be a few of the celebrations Pikachu Vmaxes. So there'll be the surfing and the flying Pikachu Vmaxes. I can't remember if I sent off the surfing and flying Pikachu Vs or just the Vmaxes, but there's quite a few of them, so they'll be coming up. Again, the Vmaxes, not that common, but the Vs, relatively common, but still, they're nice enough that you'd want to get them graded. And that was a 9 as well, so that's not too bad. Next up, we have... Okay, yeah, so the Mewtwo Battle Academy. So this... Battle Academy, I don't... Is that the right... Yes, it was actually. Yes, sorry, yes. So, Battle Academy... There's been a couple of them now. These were the things that I waited years for, because when you bought a deck, like a pre-made deck in the shops, you know, sometimes you can they'll you know, it'll have the Pokemon and then the energy cards and everything with it. It's a deck of 60 cards basically. What you'd get in there is a fold-out sheet which has the play area. So, you know, it'll tell you where to put the Pokemon that's in battle, where to put your bench Pokemon, where to put your discard pile, where to put your prize cards, and so on. But obviously, because it's paper and it's been folded up, it's not really practical for using. So what I actually did was I found a laminating company, and I got some laminated, and I had this IKEA... trying to remember the name. The small square tables, they're cheap, £10, whatever they are, and I got a piece of glass cut. So then I put the thing underneath and then put the glass on top, and that became the table that I would play on when someone would actually play with me. But the Battle Academy was essentially like buying a board game. It had a fold-out cardboard play area, and it also had it had a rule book. So it had some pre-made decks. It had 3 decks, I think. There's a Pikachu one, a Mewtwo one, and then there was another one, an Eevee one, I think. And then you got instructions. So the idea would be that you put the deck in a specific order, and it would walk you through hand by, you know, holding your hand, move by move, to tell you how to play the game. And then you'd move on to the Mewtwo deck, which is the more advanced one, and then you can play the game through. So you'll be able to tell that it's that with this little symbol here. So sometimes if you see energy cards or something that have that little Mewtwo on them, they came from the Battle Academy. But I think there is a more recent version of Battle Academy which uses not Cinderace, Score Bunny, I think they use. But they're really good sets. You should have a look at. Them. I think I got a couple of these. That's why I got one that I could send off to be graded, and then the other one is in the box, because it's like a, you know, if you were to buy Scrabble or Monopoly, it's a proper fold-out cardboard play area, and it's worth it. They're only about £20. They're really worth getting. And I'm running out of space already on my desk. I'm gonna have to stop putting stuff over here. Okay, so we have a Japanese card. And it is, this is the Detective Pikachu Japanese. So this was from this one I had earmarked for a stream, but we never actually got around to doing the stream. This was so you can see here, it's a Detective Pikachu special jumbo card pack. It was kind of a collectible set which had an oversized Mewtwo card in it, and then it had a few packs from the Detective Pikachu expansion from Japan, and then the sort of guaranteed card that you saw at the front was this shiny Detective Pikachu with his hat on as well. And that's actually better than I was expecting, because it came out the pack quite curved, not bent but curved. So that's come back as a 9, and that's not bad actually, because I do think the Detective Pikachu is quite cute. I just wish he had the deep voice that he had from the game in the movie. Hey, how you doing? Always good to see people from the some of the more private. Revenant, are you? Oh yeah, you should have. Oh no, I was going to say I was like, why do you not have your Batcave symbol on it? But that's because I think you're a backer on Patreon. Good to see people that are appearing from our watch parties. Quick interlude to plug that. So, watch party is something that, if you see in the chat right now, there's a few people with little Batman pixel art badges next to their names. Well, it's not actually Batman, it's from a video game that I was working on back in the day that never got finished. His name's actually Batdan. We'll get to that in a video at some point. They are part of the Patreon and YouTube Batcave, and one of the rewards for that is that every month we have an additional stream that is hosted through our Discord channel, one that you won't see if you're not a Batcave member. And we pick a movie from the 80s, 90s, well, 70s, 80s, 90s, or noughties, I suppose. And you might have seen me posting about it on our channel. Sometimes you get to vote on them. The last one was Super Mario Brothers, which is a really weird movie, but it was fun to watch together. And this month we've got Small Soldiers coming up. So if you fancy watching Small Soldiers with me and a few of the guys that you see in the chat, like Mark and Revnort and so on, and Jared, I think you try to join, but you have trouble with your phone sometimes. By all means, go ahead and click the join button on YouTube to join the Batcave, and you'll also get that little Bat Dan figure next to your name in chat. And also, if you want to do it on Patreon, you won't get the little Bat Dan in chat, but you will get access to everything else. That's it. Plug over. Okay, so next up we have Venusaur EX. Okay, so this is a slightly older one again. This is 2014. This was from a tin, basically. So, when you get the tins where you've got the card up front behind a little window, and then you get a few boosts. Not as many boosts as you think you're going to get, because the tin is mostly cardboard. One of those, basically. So, not a majorly rare card, because, as I say, it's not from a pack. It's one that you knew you were going to get, but still, this is now 8 years old. So, many were bought and played with, whereas this one has been sat in a folder. So again, that one's been sat in a folder for 8 years and moved with me 3 or 4 times. So to come back as an 8, not too bad. And I like the colour match on that, actually. It's nice to have the sort of blue and green of Bulbasaur on there. Cool. Next up. Oh, so okay, so we have a different Pikachu. Okay, so this was what I was saying. So Pikachu V is not a particularly rare card, mainly because there's lots of them, but they're all different artworks. So if I just put that down for a second, it'll go slightly out of focus. And if I try and find that other one, where did I put it? Oh, I put it over there. So these are from different expansions. So this one, it says from the from the Pikachu V collection. This one is from Vivid Voltage, which is an expansion that we did on stream, actually. So this one will have, this particular card, this one here, will have come out of a packet on our stream. But both 9s, both different artworks, and you're probably going to see another one of these, actually. So I'm going to put these aside, because I think there's a third one somewhere. Can't remember if it's English or Japanese, though. So you might be seeing these again at some point in the stream. But I am running out of desk space here. Looking forward to Small Soldiers, Mark. Haven't seen it in years. The watches are always fun. It's a guarantee we'll lose track of time. Yeah, normally we finish watching the movie about 10:30, and I think it's going to be an early night, and then all of a sudden it gets to midnight. And if you are a member of the Batcave and you haven't joined us for Watch Party, you'll know how long they go on for, because there's an additional Discord channel that you get access to, and we start posting links for all the random stuff that we're talking about, and God help anybody trying to figure out what all those links, what the connections between those links are, because we kind of go all over the shop talking about anything and everything. But it's a good laugh. It's quite intimate, because there's only a small people that are able to join us, so it's always good to... And it's always good to see people back on these streams as well. Yeah, normally nobody wants to be the one that ends it. Okay, next up we have Venusaur V. Okay, so hang on. We had Venusaur V and Vmax. But they are from different sets. So... Oh no, that was EX. That wasn't Vmax. No, what am I talking about? Completely different generation of cards. This is not the EX. This is from so this is from 2020. This is from Champion's Path. So Champion's Path is the one with the Rainbow Charizard that I was talking about. So the 3 different Charizards. You had the one from Darkness Ablaze, or the starter set in Japan, which is the full color one. There's the Shiny Star V, or Shining Fates one, which is the purplish Charizard. And then there's the Rainbow Charizard. We opened... I mean, I was determined, because we can't get the Japanese one because it's like £8,000 and it's very limited. I was determined to get that English language Rainbow Charizard, and we must have opened 150 packs of Champion's Path, and we didn't find one. But one that we did find was Venusaur V, and that's come back as an 8. A little bit disappointed that was an 8, not a 9. But oh well, not too bad, and it's got that same nice colour match label as well. And then the last one for this box is a Japanese one, and it is... okay, so this I'm going to have different little piles of things to refer back to. This is going to be another one that we have to refer back to when we look at when we get this in the English language one. This is the Japanese language one, despite this being in English. So this is the weird thing with this card. This is from the 25th anniversary set, as you can see, but there was also the English language one from the Celebration set, but those are re-releases of classic cards back in the day, which I might have even had the original, I say Rayquaza, I know it's Rayquaza, but I prefer how Rayquaza sounds. The original Rayquaza EX, I think I might have had one of these and sent it off for grading too. So we'll be able to compare the English Celebrations version of this with the Japanese 25th anniversary and the original, hopefully. And I always find it amusing that the Japanese card has English writing here and the English card has Japanese writing here. So again, we'll put that one aside. Oh, that was a 10 as well. That was a 10 gem mint. So the Celebrations and 25th anniversary combined streams have been pretty good for us so far. Congrats on passing 2 million. Yes, actually, thank you. I didn't know that was announced, actually. I saw that in my on the studio that we'd passed 2 million views, and I didn't know that was something that got announced, but apparently it was something that got out to you. So yes, thank you. 2 million channel views quite recently. Weirdly though, quite a lot of those are actually for Totally Motors, which is now its own channel, because yeah, at least a few 100,000 of those were for Totally Motors, which is now all content has been moved to a completely different channel now. So if any of those any of you are in the stream who like those videos, you won't be able to see them on Pomelo Retro now. They're now unlisted, although they might still be in a playlist. They are now on the completely new Totally Motors channel, which Bertie, who is in the stream, he's been helping me launch. He's been the guy rebuilding a bike for me. So one video that we have coming up soon, I'll post about it on Pomelo Retro, but you'll be able to watch it over on Totally Motors, so that YouTube isn't confusing what I actually do. A bike that has been sat in a garage for 12 years in bits, 6 boxes of bits, completely, well, not that it was in bad condition, but obviously just completely in bits, and hadn't been turned on or turned a wheel in 12 years. So, and only cost a couple £100. So it's kind of like a garage find, so to speak, video. So that'll be coming up soon. He's the one rebuilding me that. So you'll be able to see that relatively soon, whenever he's finished. You know I'm joking. So, next box. Again, anybody joining this stream, don't think that this is how Ace Grading send it to you. They send it to you nicely packaged in bubble wrap. I have just taken them out ahead of time to save a little bit of time. Will we see the finished result, or will it be in stages? Well, a bit of both, actually. You can see it in stages over on his channel. So there's in fact, bear with me, caller. I'll put a link to his... Actually, no, you don't even need to. You can go to Totally Motors, and on the homepage of that channel, I've actually highlighted his videos. He's been filming sort of stage by stage videos on his phone as he's been going along. And we'll film one big video which puts it all into context, but that is a link to the... Sorry that it's a long URL. We haven't got our own dedicated Totally Motors URL yet, but we've now passed 1,000 subscribers, so hopefully we will be soon. We only just had our community channel, community page unlocked, but if you go on there on the homepage down at the bottom, there's some links to his videos that he's been filming on his phone as he's been going along, which will give you an idea of how it's going. And we'll also have some pictures that you won't have seen yet. Okay. Oh, didn't even see you, Mike. How you doing? Yeah, no, we're good. We're doing good. How long's the stream? We're already an hour into the stream, actually, and we're not even through the first box of 3. So this is going to be a bit longer than I expected, actually. Shows how many cards we actually managed to pull out of PokeMondays streams. So, next one up. No, this is what... Oh, it's only a 7, but that's a shame. This is a particularly cute one. This is from the 2016 Generations set. This was a Flareon EX with lots of love hearts on it. And it's reflected by the premium label on that as well. A little bit of a shame that that's a 7. However, Again, this is one that I think has been in and out of folders for best part of 5 years. So the fact that that's not a 10, I can't really complain. In fact, 7, not too bad, actually. I think I was actually expecting a little bit worse than that. But that is one of the cutest cards that I think you'll ever see. And I think there's other ones of other Eeveelutions as well. So I'm not too happy with it. Oh yeah, it was the Radiant collection. That's what it's called. I'm fine with that. It's not as bad as I was expecting. And I might see if I can find the other ones of these. I don't, because I think Flareon was the only one I had. But I think there are Vaporeon. I don't know how many there were actually. I'm gonna have to look that up. But this is ones that I might want to see if I can get hold of at some point. I think Flareon's the only one I've got. Do I have a favorite Eeveelution? I don't know if I do actually. I mean, obviously, I'm someone that more played the older generation I was gonna say, I'm getting confused now. As in, the older generation games. So the Flareon, Vaporeon, Jolteon ones are always gonna have a special place in my heart for me. But yeah, I don't know really. I mean, I like all of. I mean, Eevee is one of my favorite Pokemon. So I don't think there's an Eeveelution that I don't like. So yeah, I don't know if I do have a favorite actually. Probably Flareon, but no, I don't know. I like them all. I mean, I'd quite happily try and play a game. Actually, that might be a good idea. Try it, because I've got a, one of those action replay things, so you can just load Pokemon into a game. Maybe I should try and play Pokemon X/Y. Because I played Pokemon Y, but I always wanted to play Pokemon X because I prefer the Charizard in it. On a stream, because I spent quite a lot of money getting a 3DS modded for a stream. Maybe I should do a Pokemon X stream, but beforehand I should load in like level 5, because I think I can do it. I think I can do it in a different game, like load in level 5 Eeveelutions. So how many Eeveelutions are there actually? Because you can only have 6 in your party. Is there more than 6 now? Eeveelutions. Oh, there's 8. So okay, so I'd have to pick 2 that don't make the cut. Okay, well let's do that now. How about oh, you've just listed them. Perfect. Well, how about I do that then? Rather than choosing my favorite, let's choose the one that wouldn't make the cut for the stream. Umbreon's probably good to have. Espeon's good to have. Vaporeon's good against fire. Flareon good against water. Okay, so it's probably going to be, you'd either cut Vaporeon or Glaceon, because I don't know if there's much point having water and ice. So I'd probably cut Glaceon. And then I don't know how powerful Leafeon would be against things. So probably cut Leafeon and Glaceon. So that doesn't really answer your question of whether I have a favourite, but if I do that stream, which I'm quite tempted to do now, I would start with a level 5 Espeon, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, Umbreon, Sylveon, I think. So Glaceon and Leafeon would be the ones to cut. So even though I like the designs, those would be my least favourites. Completely not what you asked, but there you go. Leafeon is a super great... what, against Psychic? Is that what you're saying? Anyway, we're going off stream. Next up on this, but I will consider doing that as a PokeMondays. It'll be a long PokeMondays, but that's the point. The whole point of not doing this every week is that we can do longer streams. They're just less common, which leaves more time to do things like the Power Rangers Super Sentai videos, but you're not losing the streams as well. So you might see that in the future. So next up we have a Japanese card. And okay, so it's another 25th anniversary one. This is the Dark Gyarados. This is the Japanese version of it. 10 gem mint. Now this is another one that I'm going to have to find a pile to put somewhere on my desk, because I think I have the English language version of this, and I have the old... Is it must be year 2000 or maybe 2001? Yeah, probably 2000. Team Rocket version of this card, not the Japanese one, the English language one. So I'll keep this aside and we can compare as we go along. But again, another gem mint, 10 gem mint from the 25th anniversary and celebration sets. So they're doing pretty well so far. You can catch Eevee and grind all the Eeveelution. Actually, now, since we're talking about Eevee, somewhere in this, I assume there's going to be an Eevee Vmax, which I always found weird to think, because you can have an Eevee... I hate saying this, I can never say it right. Eevee V, and then an Eevee Vmax. So Eevee evolves into Eevee, because it's a Max, Gigantamax, whatever the case. I always just find it weird that in the card game... You're not in the video games is a bit different, but in the card game you're evolving an Eevee into an Eevee. I always find that a bit weird, but we'll probably see one of those as we're going along. Oh, well, there you go. Another 10 gem mint, guys. I think I have a few. I don't think we pulled a lot of these, and I don't think I sent them all off to be graded. But another 10 gem mint. Can't complain with that. The celebrations, though, actually, before I make it sound too good. The 25th anniversary one was particularly annoying because in the 25th anniversary set, it worked differently to celebrations. In celebrations, you could pull the Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, and a few others from any pack. Like I say, we opened 98 packs to get that Charizard, but we got it. The Japanese version, though, you could only get those in what they called the promo packs, which was one card. It was a packet that you bought, a booster pack with one card in it, and I probably could have made money just selling the packs because they started going for about £20 odd each. We opened, I think, a good 40 of those, didn't get a single one. Anyway, how's my day been? My day's been actually pretty good so far. It's been mostly worked on Totally Motor stuff, but worked well because to make sure that Totally Motor survives, we need the backing of manufacturers, and we just got Honda to give us the thumbs up. So that's a good day in my book. It's £20 was the last time I looked. I am sure they're more than that now. Somewhere between £20 and £30 per pack. One card in them, and you don't know what you're getting. And we didn't get a single one we were looking for. They weren't bad cards, but they weren't... they weren't the ones we were looking for. That wasn't a good situation. So I'm making it sound like the 25th anniversary stream went really well. It went okay, and it's great to see these. It's good that they're coming back as 10 gem mints, but it wasn't perfect. Well, there you go. There's a third one. Another 10 gem mint, Dark Gyarados. So there's more. I sent off more of these than I remember. This one's a Western one though, or it could be Korean. Okay, so this is Umbreon. This, talking about Eeveelutions, this is a 10 gem mint as well. This is from the Celebrations stream as well. Now, I'm trying to remember where these came from, because the Celebrations ones, there were lots of different tins, lots of different... I think this one was from just the boosters, because you got the booster packs, the tins, all sorts of things. I think this one was just from a pack. But it's one of the more desirable ones because there weren't as many. It was quite weird, that stream, because he found things that were quite rare in terms of they didn't come up very often, but they're not desirable. They're not particularly, like Cleffa, I remember. I think we only got one or two of those out of more than 100 packs. But that is not an expensive card, even though it does seem to be relatively rare. Don't know why. Honda partnership. No, and it's sort of a Honda partnership. They've agreed to give us press bikes, basically, which is not an easy thing to do sometimes. Sometimes, say with like Ducati, when we've done videos, we've got to go to Ducati, and we can only use the bikes and then give them back there. This time with Honda, we're going to have the bike for 2 weeks, which is something that bigger manufacturers never used to do with us. So it's quite good that we we got a lot of Rocket. Yes, Jared, completely right. So we got a lot of Rocket Zapdos promos in the celebration stream, which you'd think would be more desirable. And in fact, they are more desirable. They're more expensive as well. But we got loads of them. We got absolutely loads of them. But then we'd get to something like Cleffa, which nobody really cares about. I mean, Cleffa's fine, but we only got 1 or 2 of them out of 100 and something packs. And there were some cards that we didn't. Again, 120 odd packs. We managed to get that 1 Charizard, but we didn't get a full set. There were still things like the Shining Magikarp and things that we didn't come across. So it was weird. Like, some things seemed rarer than others. We got 2 or 3 Blastoises and Venusaurs, but we didn't get a Shining Magikarp and fewer Cleffas. Strange, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Some things, even though they're not the most rare, they're still more desirable. Next up, we have Dragapult Vmax. Okay, so this is... this wasn't for... I was trying to think, this isn't from Celebrations, is it? No, this is from the Sword and Shield sets, but it's a Black Star Prime, but this was from a box, I believe. So you'd get a Dragapult Vmax, some boosters, and you'd get an oversized card. So the next card up might actually be the Dragapult V to go along with this. This one's not that rare, but it's a really cool design because it's the rainbow design. So even though it's not that rare, it's quite desirable because it was only available in a box. So annoyingly, you knew you were going to get it. It was guaranteed, but you had to buy the box to get it. So that's a 9, and it's got the color match label. So I'm just going to leave that there for a sec because this might be the Dragapult V that comes up. Oh, no, it's another one of the VMAX. I must have bought 2 of those boxes. I know why, because it had lots of Celebrations boosters. Because we got lots of boosters for that Celebration stream, but I had to try and figure out the best way to buy them, and a lot of the time, because otherwise it was going to be a very expensive stream. Often it was cheaper to buy boxes than it was to buy individual boosters. So there's 2 of those. So there might actually be 2 Dragapults as we go through this, so both 9s. So so there you go. So there's a Dragapult V, comes through as a 10 gem mint. So we might have 2 of these. A little bit annoying that one's a 10 and one's a 9, but that is what it is. And they're not actually different. They're different color matches, although that does have more orange on it, doesn't it? So is this another Dragapult V? Yes, it is. There we go. Oh, but they're different colors. Hang on. That's interesting. Oh no, wait. So that one came from Rebel Clash, so that one must have come out of a packet. So we might have 2 of these actually. Hang on, let's pull another one. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so so those ones were from the Dragapult box, and that's actually pretty good because we've now got a set. So these would have both come out the same box, both come back as a 9, and then again these both came out of the same box, and they both come back as a 9, so that's cool because they go as a set together. And then this one must have either come out of a stream or something we opened up after a stream, which is the Dragapult V Full Art, which is from Rebel Clash. That might have been... We did a stream where it was basically opening 120 boosters, which rather than doing a Rebel Clash stream, we just had cards from all over. Lots of different sets, ones that weren't... We didn't have enough of them to do a stream of them on their own. So that's probably what that came from. No worries. Of course, obviously, you can watch the stream back whenever you want. It will be available on demand for a while. It may get moved over to Pomelo Retro Extra at some point, but good to have you along, and feel free to drop a comment when the videos are on demand. So next up, we have a Japanese card, and it is... Oh, we got an Eternatus Vmax. Okay, so this is from Vmax Climax. So this is one that I was going to do a stream on, but obviously... we were never going to get around to doing it. We needed to move on to... I needed to move on to start doing more games rather than Pokemon cards. So I actually had quite a lot of packs of cards that I opened up off stream. I would have offered that up as a Patreon exclusive or something, but I kind of just needed to get it through because we had hundreds of packs that we needed to open. So this was an Eternatus Vmax, but it is... I can't remember the name of the character. The character from Sword and Shield. In Vmax Climax, a lot of the cards are artworks that feature the trainers as well from the games. So that's a pretty cool one actually. In fact, they're actually The VMAX Climax set was really cool. I probably should have done a stream on it at some point, but it's a really cool set. So that's one. It's got the, I really can't remember the name of the trainer on there, but that's a cool one. Don't recognize half these Pokemon. Again, I mean, I've said this loads of times on streams. The first 3 generations of games I played, but the DS games I kind of, they all passed me by, for which, you know, not because they were bad or anything, just because of long story to do with university. And then I kind of got back into it, the 3DS games. I'm struggling a little bit with the Switch games. I liked Sword and Shield. I'm not that excited, if I'm honest, about the new is it Ruby and what's it called? No, not Ruby. Scarlet and Violet. That's what it's called. I'm not that excited by them, if I'm honest. I'm more excited about going back and playing Pokemon Brown, and Pokemon Prism, and doing, you know, replays of X using Eeveelutions and things like that. Now, I think it's passed me by. There's too many now. I understand that you need to keep introducing Pokemon, but it's kind of passed me by a little bit now. Different with the cards, because I love the cards. I love the card game, and if you're not up to date with the most recent ones, you're not competitive. If you actually play the game, that is. Aha! So this is interesting, actually. So, Frenzy, actually, was Frenzy... Was it you that's in France? You've just left, haven't you? Or was it? I can't remember. Who in the stream was... No, Gonzalez Flasca. You were saying greetings from France. So, I think I sent an English version of this off as well. So this goes back all the way to year 2000. So I really, really liked the Team Rocket set back in the day. And when we get round to doing the next video game that we're going to play on PokeMondays is Pokemon Trading Card Game 2 for the Game Boy Color. It's Japanese exclusive, but it has been since translated into English. Brilliant, brilliant game, and it's all to do with the Team Rocket cards. So I collected the Team Rocket cards, and I got a load of the packs when we went on a holiday to France. So one that you would have seen in the last video was I got a Dark Blastoise, or Blastoise Obscure, in the French cards. This is an Arbok Obscure, which is Dark Arbok, from the Team Rocket set. Now I think I have the English version of this as well. I sent them both off. I'm not too concerned that it's a 7. Like I say, this is a 22-year-old card, and I've had it for 22 years, sitting in folders and things. So the fact that that's come back as a 7, not bothered about that at all. And I quite like the label with that, but it seems a little weird that obviously that all the stars and things are shiny, but they've got the same sort of bokeh, or how it's pronounced, in the back of it, of the label that isn't shiny. But anyway, that's cool. So again, I'm going to have to put that one aside until we can find the English one, unless the English one is the next one up, which it might be, which it is. Okay, so there we go, and they both come back as a 7. That's cool. So we have the year 2000 Team Rocket set, Dark Arbok and Arbok Obscure, English version and French version, both side by side, both 7s. That's pretty cool. It's nice to see the cards that I've had since, I mean, year 2000 I was 12, I think. So cards that I've had since I was 12, I've now gone and got graded, and it's nice. It's really nice to see them coming back, because I've got a soft spot for the old Wizards of the Coast cards, partly because that's what I collected as a kid, but partly also because that's what the Game Boy games are based off. Okay, so we've got a Japanese card, and it is, aha, here we go. So this one is the Surfing Pikachu VMAX. Oh, the label's a bit... actually, no, in person you can read that a lot clearer than you can on stream. It's just because of the lights. So as I say, this one is from the 25th anniversary, because it's the Japanese version of it. I have English ones as well from the Celebrations set. There's the Surfing Pikachu and there's the Flying Pikachu. I'm not sure if I sent the V versions of this off or just the VMAX. I do have the Vs, and you will have seen them on the Celebrations and 25th anniversary streams. But yeah, it is a chunky Pikachu. So that's the Surfing Pikachu VMAX. We'll see if I've got a V as well, but I might not do. I mean, I have it. I just mean on this stream. Okay, so we've got a Western card. Ah, okay, so that is the Flying Pikachu VMAX, but it's the English language version of it. Oh, actually, first of all, hang on. That was a 10 gem mint. This one's a 9. Okay, 9s and 10s again for the celebrations and 25th anniversary. Not too bad. So again, this is from Pikachu V. It evolves from Pikachu V with the balloons on it. Did get it on the stream. Can't remember if I sent it off to be graded. Sent it off for a while ago, so I might have. We'll put that aside and see if that comes back or not. Okay, so that's the end of that box. And then we have the final box of this box. Because as I say, it's these size boxes in a big box. We've got through the first big box, and it's only taken us an hour and 20 minutes. Okay, let's see what we've got in it. Again, these aren't necessarily in any order, so I don't necessarily know what's coming out as we go through this, which is why I've had to create lots of different piles on my desk here to refer back to things. Okay, we've got Western or Korean. It is, one of my favourite cards ever. So this is one that we pulled from our... Which one was this from? This isn't from an Elite Trainer box. For what expansion was this from? Was this? No, not Shining Fate. Was it Shining Fates? Hidden Fates. Hidden Fates, I think. This was the Elite Trainer box for Hidden Fates, I think. It's a Legendary Birds, Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno, like a stained glass window type one. We had a few of these actually, because again, to buy boosters for those streams, I tended to see if I could buy package deals of like the Elite Trainer boxes, because it meant that you could get a large number of boosters for a relatively small price. But the Elite Trainer boxes a few years ago were a lot better than they are now, because now you tend to get 8 boosters in a box, whereas previously, I think from 2019 and earlier, you'd get 10 boosters and you'd get a guaranteed promo card, and this was one of them. And this is one that I absolutely love, especially because it comes with you can get the ace grading premium label, which matches it as well. It's got that sort of church stained glass window effect. Love that, and I think that pretty much all of them have come back 10 gem mints, so I'm really happy with that one. Next up we have... Okay, so this was from the Ultra Premium collection again. Again, it was a good way of getting lots of boosters. That's come back as an 8. I think the other one was a 9, was it not? But I can see a couple of lines on the gilding of that, or whatever you call it. Not gilding, the foil or whatever you want to call it. So that one's not a surprise necessarily. That's an 8. I'm just glad that there's no fingerprints on the shiny bits, because that would be really annoying if there were fingerprints on those shiny bits and then it got put behind plastic. Next up, we have... okay. So, we didn't do a stream on this. This was a video. These were... well, they've called it the Sword and Shield Ultra Premium Collection, but it's not actually the Sword and Shield Ultra Premium Collection. They were specifically Zacian and Zamazenta Elite Trainer boxes that were Sword and Shield, but they weren't called Sword and Shield Ultra or anything, Ultra Premium or anything like that. They were just specifically Zacian and Zamazenta branded Elite Trainer boxes, and you got what was really cool about those is like I was saying earlier about when you bought a deck, you'd used to get a fold-out play area, and then the Battle Academy came out and you got a proper cardboard one. What was really cool about Elite Trainer boxes and things was, in terms of damage counters and things, you used to get, obviously, you just like little sheets of cardboard and you'd punch them out. Well, going back really back in the day, you used to get glass beads. Excuse me. That would mean 10 damage, but obviously as the game got more and more, the hit points got more and more. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. They started introducing little cardboard damage counters that you'd sort of punch out of a piece of cardboard. And then that was the same in terms of if somebody got, if a Pokemon got burnt or paralyzed. Was it burnt? No, poisoned or paralyzed. You'd put a little condition counter on. Oddly, yeah, there isn't a one for a burnt one. That's quite strange, isn't it? And they were plastic, and they were a huge jump forward. But the Zacian and Zamazenta premium boxes were really cool because they had metal coins, and also like the coins that you flip, like when something says flip a coin for every blah 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 blah. they tend to be plastic, and the problem is a lot of the time if you flick them, they just go up and down and they don't actually spin in the air. The metal ones do. So that, and also the dice, the damage dice and things, those were all metal as well. So the really cool set, and really nice sleeves as well. And then the two guaranteed cards that you got were these Ultra Premium Zacian and Zamazenta black and gold cards. So I think I actually have one of the... I might end up actually having three, because I ended up somehow with a third one that wasn't from a stream. So that's one of them, and we'll see if we've got the others a lot. I imagine either that's the rogue third one, or the next one will probably be Zacian. Which it is. Okay, so I'll bring Zamazenta back in. Oh, that's annoying though. One's an 8 and one's a 9. So that's the Zacian and Zamazenta from those. So yeah, I would say those boxes are worth getting. They're a little bit pricey now compared to some of the other Elite Trainer boxes, but it's worth it for the metal dice, the metal coins, the metal condition counters, and then also you get some cool cards in it. So they're not actually from a specific expansion necessarily. I think it's just Sword and Shield base, but really worth getting. Really worth getting. It's just annoying. One's a 9 and one's an 8. So next up we have... cool. Okay, so I think this is one of two slightly different ones. This is... 8's not too bad actually. This is all the way back from 1999. Base set first edition Machamp. Now this one's saying a 2-player CD-ROM. I thought these came with the base set, like the original, the OG starter box with a deck in it. I thought that's what they came from, but I believe this was packaged in with a couple of different things, and I don't really remember what the differences are. I think I sent 2 of these off to be graded, so maybe one of them... In fact, actually, I'm remembering now, Ace Grading got back to me that one of them had to be changed. So whilst I thought they were exactly the same, I think one of them was from the CD-ROM, and one of them was from the base set. So again, I'll put that aside, and if we can find the other one, we'll compare them and see if I can see the difference. Unless it's this one, which it is. That's come back as a 6, but okay, I can see straight away why that is. Some of the, you can see that some of the lines on that. That's sort of like a printing issue. Okay, yeah, so this is just saying base first edition holo number 8, whereas this is saying base first edition Cosmos holo number 8. Maybe the shininess on it is a bit different. They're both... Oh, bear with me one sec. Don't worry, once you've banned them, they don't actually appear. They don't actually appear on like the playback. There we go. So yeah, maybe there is a slight difference. I think this one looks like it's got higher contrast on the Machamp and the holo effect. In fact, this one looks a little bit nicer, but they're both number 8 and they're both first edition. They're both base set 1999. So, I mean, it shows just how much knowledge Ace Grading have of these, that they're able to tell the difference between those. A little bit of a disappointment that that's a 6, but I can see why that is. It's not actually the condition, it's the printing on that. So an 8 and a 6, considering these are 23 years old, I'm okay with that. That's not that bad at all. Next up, we have... So this is Surfing Pikachu Vmax, but this is the English language one, so bring this one back in. There's the Japanese version. Pretty much exactly the same, except obviously you got the 25th anniversary Celebrations logo and just the 25th anniversary logo. Celebrations logo is much better. Although this one's a gem mint, and this one's a 10, and that one's a 9. Fair enough. But again, we'll see if I sent the Vs off. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I think I just sent off the VMAXs. But anyway, if I did, we'll get a nice surprise. Next up, we have... a 5. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so this is again from another one from my personal, collection back in the day when I was a teenager, or actually pre-teenager. I was 12. Tween? Is 12 a tween? This is the Dark Vaporeon. I think In fact, they're probably the next ones up in there. I think I sent Dark Vaporeon, Dark Flareon, and Dark Jolteon. They're not the holo versions. So the fact that this has come back as a 5, I'm not too bothered about, because I don't think I'm going to sell this one. This is just one that I had back in the day that I really liked. Because as I say, the Team Rocket set I really enjoyed. So the fact that that's come back as a 5, not too bad. Although, actually, the label on that's really cool, because it's a continuation, isn't it? Because this is underwater, and you can just start to see either the sun or the moon, and then as you come round, you can see the top of it. That's actually a really cool label on that. So I'm okay with that. A 5 is fine, but I'm just going to leave that there, because the next ones up might be the other Eeveelutions, which they are. That's a Dark Jolteon. That's a 6. Again, the label on that's actually really good, because it just looks like a continuation of the artwork. And then it's the next one along. Is this the Dark Flareon? Which it is. Again, another 6. Okay, so a 6, a 6, and a 5. That's not too bad. All, as I say, 22 years old. None of them are holos. But again, these weren't necessarily ones I wanted to sell. These are ones that I just really loved, because, like I say, Eevee is one of my favourite Pokemon, and I love Eeveelutions. And the Team Rocket set is one of my favourite sets ever. So I'm glad to have those. Maybe one day, I think they did holo versions of them. Maybe one day I'll have the holos, but for now, I'm happy with those. Okay, next up we have... now are we back to these? Okay, so this is the top right-hand corner of our Pikachu V-union. So as I say, different moves show on each card, but now at least... Oh, no. No, So the Japanese one all had the same rating. These cards go as a set. And the English language ones are not graded the same. Oh, I don't know if that's an OCD thing. I don't think I have OCD, but that one has really... I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but that one's actually really annoyed me. That one's a 9 and one's an 8. I don't know what would be more annoying if, like, 3 of them are at 8 and one's a 9, or 3 of them are 9 and one's an 8, or if, like, there was a 10 and 9 and 8 and a 7. That one would really be annoying. Okay, oh, hang on. These two actually might be... These two next ones might be the rest of the Pikachu V-unions. They are. Okay, so that one's a 9. And that one's a 9. So we got 3 9s and an 8. That one... It's a first world problem. I know it's a first world problem, but that's really annoyed me. That we've got 3 9s and 1 8 when they specifically meant to go as a set. But well, as I say, the one to actually have is the oversized card. I probably could get it regraded, but as I say, Ace Grading are pretty good at... They know what they're doing, so it is what it is. But as I say, the one to have is the oversized card, even though it's less desirable because it's not an actual card. Yeah, I'd like to think they didn't do it just to be spiteful. Okay, we're into box 2 now, and yeah, box 2 also has 4 smaller boxes in it, so we're going to be here for a while yet. Settle in. Maybe the last box doesn't have 4 small boxes in, I don't know. Okay, what have we got? We have... yeah, okay, so this is another one that was it was a... Oh no, this isn't a Japanese set. Wait a minute, what was this from? Jolteon Vmax... Oh, I remember what this is from. Okay, so this is from a box set that I used to get more boosters again. Like I say, when one of the reasons why PokeMondays, in terms of Pokemon cards, is having to go away as a weekly thing is just because it was just too expensive to do. I was having to try and find deals and buy in bulk as best I can. This is from a set of different Eeveelutions. Now, I think I got the Jolteon and the Vaporeon boxes of these, and you'll have actually seen some of these in the background of some videos, because you got an oversized card in it as well, and you got a V and a Vmax, and then you also got a pin. If you think this stream you're not remembering the CSI streams, oh, there's more of those coming. There's more CSI streams coming. Don't you worry about that. In fact, my wife might be joining me on the next one, because I think she was she doesn't join these streams very often, but she was on for all 9 hours, messaging me in Facebook, because she was getting really frustrated that she was just throwing ideas at me, even if they weren't the right thing to do. She was just shouting at me basically in the private chat in Facebook. So, and she did the same on Adventures of Lolo. So if we're doing another CSI or Adventures of Lolo stream, she's going to be with me. I'm gonna convince her to come along so that she doesn't shout at me on Facebook. She can shout at me in the room instead. The CSI games I love. I love the CSI PC games, and there's more coming. The reason why they haven't come so far is if you're part of the Discord, if you look on the computers channel on there, I've had a nightmare with the laptops that I use for those streams. So basically, I had Windows 7 laptops that had been downgraded to Windows XP, which was perfect because they were HDMI out, which when you're trying to get it into a stream, you need HDMI really. You can do it if it's otherwise, but you have to get the video and the audio separately, and it's a bit of a pain in the bum. Annoyingly, those laptops just keep breaking. I had one break and it cost almost as much as the laptop was worth to fix it. So I ended up getting a new laptop. In fact, well, I say new. In fact, it's here. An old tank of it doesn't even. That's how big it is. It doesn't even fit in the area. A big old Fujitsu Siemens laptop, but it is VGA, which means that I have to do the VGA video and the audio separately. But don't worry, CSI streams are coming back. I just need to get this laptop up and running and get the games installed on them. Don't worry about Retro Wednesdays. They're coming back again. Retro Wednesdays might not be every Wednesday, but they are not going away at all. You see this because I've got plenty of stuff to come. We're going to take a little bit of break from the wrestling games for now, but we are going to do some SmackDown versus Raw eventually. But yes, you're going to see some Pokemon games on PokeMondays, and you're going to see some CSI on Retro Wednesdays, and then we got a few other things planned for Retro Wednesdays as well. And then obviously another chance to plug Watch Party, because Watch Parties are going to continue every month as well. So you're still going to get plenty of streams. It's just not going to be 2 a week basically anymore. But yeah, so back to this. So that is the Jolteon V. Jolteon looking a little bit like Batman or Hancock looking over the city. I imagine the next one up is going to be the Vmax, which it is. They don't quite match up into. Oh wow, 7. Okay, so these are from the exact same box. This is a Jolteon promo box. Quite odd that one's come back as a 7. And I mean, in fact, I can't see a single thing on there that would suggest to me why that's a 7. Nope, no idea. But apparently it's a 7. And that's really annoying because those two go together. So that's probably even more annoying. Is it more annoying than the V-union? I don't know. Those two go together and one's a 9, one's a 7. Ah, well. As I say, no, ace grading, they do border on harsh. But again, it doesn't really matter because, like I say, a 7 there is nearly perfect. A 7 in ace grading is damn good. So if you're getting a 10, then it's pretty much never mind. It has to be absolutely perfect. And I'm just going to bring 2 in now because the next 2 up are the Vaporeon, which I love this card. I love this Vaporeon V. And then also got the Vaporeon Vmax as well. And another 9 and 7. That is really annoying. But at least they're consistent in that sense. Why is it that the Vmaxes... It better not be that it's a centering thing and that these are specifically meant to be off-center or something. But even if it is, then at least they'll be consistent with it, you'd hope. But either way, I really like those. I didn't have the Flareon box in those, though. I think it was just the Jolteon and Eeveelution. Vaporeon. In fact, actually, just before we do that, my throat's getting a bit dry, so bear with me one sec. Oh, that is a very fizzy Pepsi Max, so apologies if I burp. It is a bit Little Mermaid, isn't it? This one in particular. Cute Vaporeon. Anyway. Ooh, that's... Cannot get a pile that's going to fall over. Next up. Okay. Now, we have lots of these. As I say, when we were... Because this is from... What's this from? This is from Darkness Ablaze, I think. Darkness Ablaze and Champion's Path were some of the streams where we got a lot of boosters because we were trying to chase those Charizards and didn't get one in either of those. And it was one of those ones where I think I actually bought Elite Trainer boxes in bulk. So I think we actually have about 10 of these Charizards. Actually, I really like this Charizard because I like the pink background on them. And actually, yes, this is an example of this came in the Elite Trainer box from Darkness Ablaze, I think, and then the Shining Fates one, there was a shiny Charizard, as in like the black and purple Charizard version, which is very, very expensive. We didn't find that, but we did find the Japanese version, I think, in Shiny Star V. And that goes with the Charizard Vmax that I showed you earlier, so we'll be able to see the V and the Vmax. This goes with... Where did I put... oh god, hang on, bear with me, because I've got piles and piles of cards now, and it's getting to the point where they could start to fall over. Fortunately, the cards do sort of slightly stack, they've got little ridges on them, so it's not just going to fall over too readily. But still, I have to be a bit careful because these are all actually quite valuable now, and this is a big investment for the channel, and I can't have them all fall over and break. Thankfully, ace grading boxes are pretty sturdy. Okay, so that was to go along with this Charizard, which we never actually got. So this is the Charizard V from Darkness Ablaze. This is the V Max. Obviously, this is the Japanese version, but those two are the ones to go together. I'll be able to show you a better version of that when we get to the shiny, as in the blackish purple Charizard V and V Max. It'll make a bit more sense there. So we never found the English version of this, but we've got at least 10 of these, and they're all between a 10 and an 8, I think, in terms of grading. So that's cool to have another one of those. I think we've pretty much got a big chunk of the market when it comes to this card. Something I wish I didn't mind was play the Power Ranger PC games. I didn't even know there were any. Enlighten me, John. What were they like? Next up, we have... okay. So again, this is one that didn't come up on a stream, but it was originally going to be... Because it's the VMAX Climax. There were quite a few Rayquazas in that set. I know it's Rayquaza, but I say Rayquaza. Because I loved... My favourite type of Pokemon type is Dragon type. So I always tend to build Dragon decks. This is a little bit like the Zacian and Zamazenta in terms of this is the ultra rare VMAX Climax Rayquaza VMAX. I think we're going to see a few more Rayquaza VMAXs in this, but this was the one that was rarer of them all, and that come back as a 10 gem mint as well. And it actually looks like that's meant to be a premium label as well because of the simple black and gold. So that's pretty cool. Next up, we got another Japanese, and okay, so this is a little bit along the same sort of line, along the lines of, I don't know where it's gone now. The legendary birds. So this is it's from a different type of set in Japan. This is called the Sky Legend set. This is the 3 legendary birds again. I believe it has the same moveset as the stained glass window style card. Oh wait, hang on, here it is. There we go. Obviously one's in English, one's in Japanese, but you can see there 300 hit points, colorless. The 3 legendary birds GX, and they've got the Sky Legend GX move, and then you've also got that one move there that requires 1 of each energy plus a colorless, and then 210 hit points. So it's the same card, but a different variation of it. I don't know if this one got released in Japan. There was an English language version of this, but I forget what set it was from. It wasn't from like a direct comparison in the West, but 2 gem mints of that card. I still prefer that one, obviously, but that's pretty cool. Oh, okay, they were the ones that went over to N64. Next up, we have... Okay, yeah, so this is again from VMAX Climax. So there were a few Eeveelutions in that, and there were, obviously, we've got some Eevee Heroes cards that will be coming through at some point as well from Japan. So we're going to see plenty of Eeveelutions come through. So we got an Umbreon, 9, can't complain with that. But we'll see what else we got, because I assume these next ones up are going to be... Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, hang on. So we got the annoying that one's a 9 and one's an 8. So we got the Umbreon V and Umbreon Vmax, both from VMAX Climax. And as I was saying earlier, the VMAX Climax cards tend to have a trainer in them. I can't remember the name of this trainer, but they're usually not just the Pokemon. They have a trainer in there as well, and they're usually a slightly more interesting artwork. It's not just a background. So as you can see, this one's sort of got like a cityscape in the background as well, where they're on rooftops. Cool. I think they're... Oh yeah, the rest are all Japanese cards. So these might actually be VMAX Climax cards. Oh no, that's Blue Sky Stream. So we got a Gyarados V. Now I think there are a couple of different ones. So this is the secret rare version. I think there's a few different versions of these. In fact, let's just pull the next one up. Is that? No, that's not. We'll get back to that in a sec. So yeah, so that's the secret rare version, but there were a couple of different versions of this card. But I think the same card, just different variations. And obviously, Gyarados crosses that sort of boundary of water type and dragon type a little bit like Charizard does. And I tend to try and, when I build dragon, my favorite deck to build is fire and water dragon types. So Gyarados is one that I like to have in my sets. So we saw it then. So that's a Rayquaza VMAX. That one's from Blue Sky Stream as well. Whereas, was the other one from Blue Sky Stream? I can't remember. I don't know which pile I put that one in now. I thought I muted you. Hang on one sec. Anyway, I can't remember what pile I put that Rayquaza in. Oh no, here it is. No, okay, so one was from VMAX Climax and one was from Blue Sky Stream. But so Blue Sky Stream, again, this was going to be a stream that we never actually did. This was an interesting set. It's because it's the same artwork, that's why it confused me. This was an interesting set because this set did a little bit like the 25th anniversary set, where you'd get a set with one card in it, but at least it was a bit cheaper. So the Celebrations ones got a bit pricey. The Blue Sky Stream ones weren't that expensive, but they were a gold pack, and you'd open them up and you never knew what you were going to get. So you tended to get a few different versions of Rayquaza, which is why I thought that's where that came from, but that one's from VMAX Climax. But they did the same thing, basically, where you could get boosters. So I had a booster box of Blue Sky Stream, which was going to be for a stream, but I ended up just opening it off stream. But then you also had promo cards as well, which went along with it. So there might be another one that comes in at some point. I don't mind Travis Bot. It's an extra bit of engagement. He's fine. I've got a lot of time for Travis Bot. In fact, I should monetize that. I should have a T-shirt with Travis Bot on it. Ah, yeah. So here we go. So another VMAX Climax. Oh, was it VMAX? I thought it was. I'm pretty sure it was Blue Sky Stream. But as I say, there's a few of these Rayquazas across the few different sets. So as I say, there's. In fact, all three of these are Rayquaza VMAX, aren't they? They're not all just V. So across those two sets, you actually had quite a few, all in different guises. In fact, let's just turn over the card on this last one and see if it's another one, because I think there might have been another one, which there is. Although, is that the same as? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so those are both 9s, and then that's the artwork that goes along with it, except it's from a completely different set. So that was from VMAX Climax. These are Blue Sky Stream, and then you had another one from Blue Sky Stream, and there might have even been another one as well. So again, love my dragon type, and we got plenty of Rayquazas there. I can't remember which, but I ran into Travis Bot in another stream. Oh, really? Is he in another stream? What's his name? Is it Travis Clark? Was that his name? I can't remember what it comes up. He's been quite silent in this stream. Usually he comes up saying, he'll just start asking, like, what are you doing? when it's like the most obvious thing in the world about the stream. So it's really obvious it's a bot, and then it's riddled with the same spelling mistakes over and over again. If you ever get, maybe I'll do that. Maybe, yeah. Oh, that's a thought. Okay, okay. So I can't completely share this with you yet, but you'll know, if you've been on these streams, you'll know that I've been saying for a long time now that I've been waiting for something from Mexico. I've been dropping quite a few spoilers in the spoiler channel on the Discord because it looks like it's on its way. Apparently it's ready to ship now, but he hasn't actually asked for the address yet. But anyway, there'll be a video when it arrives. There'll be a video coming on what my plan was with that thing and what my plan might come to be with that thing. And you might have just given me an idea for a bit of it. I'm not going to say completely what it is, but it will involve some. I'll just say two words: Putty and Travis. I'll move on from that. Anyway, next up. Oh, sorry, this is a completely new box. I don't know if I even mentioned that. Next up, we have. Oh, okay. So we might be getting into a few of these. I wonder if this whole box is going to be from Celebrations. So, like I said, we found quite a few like the Blastoises and Venusaurs in the Celebration stream were not that rare. Like, we came across quite a few of them, so then we might see a few of these as we're going through now. It was just the Charizard that was really rare. But that's fine by me because, again, these are all based off the old, like the original base set. So I love all these cards. And again, that's a pretty ugly, chunky Venusaur. But again, I don't care because that's what I'm nostalgic for. So cool. I'm not going to say too much about those because we're probably going to see a few of these. You've turned into. No comment. I will. Every time I start mentioning about people start asking me questions on the stream, and I'm going to refuse. Because I've given you spoilers. They're all there in the spoiler channel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you'll have to join the Discord. There's a link in the description below. Is this another Venus? Oh yeah, okay. That's why I'm not going to mention too much about them. Oh, okay, but that one's a 10 gem mint. This one's a 9. Now, this is going to go a bit blurry for a sec, because I need to have a look at these a bit closer. Looking at these, I have absolutely no idea why one is a 10 and one's a 9. They look... Oh, no, I do. I figured it out. Okay, so we got a 10 and a 9 there. From the front, they look pretty much exactly the same. However, if we look on the back, the 9 has a little speck in the end there. I bet that's what it is. So the card is pretty much perfect, except that little thing, whereas this one doesn't have that. And it's a little bit annoying that it's something on the back of it that's made it go from a 10 to a 9. But either way, in fact, the next one up might even be another Venusaur, because I remember we found quite a few of them. Is it? Oh no, this is a Japanese card. This is... Okay, so we didn't get the Pikachu Vmax from... Was it Vivid Voltage, I think? This is the... Or is this the Celebrations one? I can't remember. This is either the Celebrations or the Vivid Voltage one. This one is from VMAX Climax. Again, I always find this one a little bit weird because this is like Eevee. So this is a Pikachu that evolves from a Pikachu. Again, I understand in the video games it's a little bit different. They're not evolving, as it were. Okay, this is another pet peeve of mine. In Pokemon, they use the term evolve. When it's not evolve at all, it's metamorphosize. They're morphing, basically, because that's what Pokemon was based off bugs originally. The guy was a bug collector, and all you need to do is look at things like Caterpie, Weedle, Butterfree. No, Caterpie. No, Caterpie. Why's my brain just done like a brain fart? It's Weedle, Kakuna, Beedrill, and then Caterpie, Metapod, Butterfree. You only need to look at them to realise that's what the original idea was. They're based off metamorphosis, not evolution. And I don't know what the Japanese word... If anybody in the stream knows what Japanese word they use, let me know, because I'd like to know whether or not it's evolution or not, because it's been a pet peeve of mine for over 20 years now that they use the word evolution when they're not evolving, they're metamorphosizing. If they were evolving, it would suggest that the... No, it doesn't even suggest anything. You that's not what evolution is. You don't just transform like that. You don't just see a dinosaur transform into a chicken. That's not what evolution is. That's a long-term process. If they did, it would be metamorphosis. So pet peeve over, but I mention it because this always one I always find a little bit weird in the card game when you get a Pikachu that evolves from a Pikachu. And we actually had the Pikachu Vs earlier on, didn't we? We came across the Pikachu Vs from the 25th anniversary set, but I'm not going to go looking for them now because they're under piles of lots of cards. Another Japanese card. Exactly the same. And exactly the same grade. Both from Vmax Climax. I won't do the rant again. Sorry. Wait. Gyarados Vmax. Where was the Gyarados? Gyarados V even. Oh god, the piles don't fall over. Where did I put the Gyarados? I'm going to be careful in a minute because the pile that I've got in front of me is going to start blocking the actual chat window. It's getting that big. Alright, let's move those over there. Okay, so we got the Gyarados V and Vmax. Are these both from Blue Sky Stream? Yes, they are. So these are both from Blue Sky Stream. Actually, they look quite similar, don't they? The Vmax and the V are pretty similar on that. Now, I'm trying to remember if I have the English language versions of these. Wait, no, hang on. So this is the secret rare version. So this is what I was saying earlier. I think there's a different version of this Gyarados from Blue Sky Stream. So I'll keep these ones aside and we'll see if we come across those. In fact, it might be the next one up. Oh no, because this is a Western or Korean card. And this is the Blastoise from our 25th anniversary, sorry, not 25th anniversary, the Celebrations stream. And this obviously is based on the base set Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur from the original Wizards of the Coast card. Again, I love that artwork of Blastoise. It's kind of like the Blastoise that you'd see on the front of Pokemon Blue. It was Pokemon Blue, wasn't it? It's not quite the same, you know what I mean, but it's probably the same artist, is what I mean. And obviously it's got the Ace label on it. That's come through as a 9. In fact, did we have multiple of these? Let's see if the next one up is also a Blastoise. No, it's not. But this is from the Celebration set. This is Lance's Charizard V, and I think we had 2 of these, because one of these was from a tin, one of these was from a box. In fact, let's just... Yes, okay, so the next one up is also... Oh, wait, one's a 9 and one's an 8. Well, I'll have a look at it and see if we can tell why that is. So yeah, so one of these, it doesn't actually say whether it's from a tin or whether it's from a box because they're exactly the same card. But it was one of a couple of ones that they did where it is like trainer specific. Now, let me have a quick look at these close up and see if I can spot the difference on these. Nope. I have absolutely no idea why one is not a 9 or an 8. They look pretty much exactly the same to me. But it is what it is. One's a 9, one's an 8. And it's got a cool Ace label on there as well. Okay, that's them. Next up is... Oh, we got another Venusaur. Okay, and another 9 as well. We've already talked about this one. But nice to have another one. Because, yeah, I think we got 3 or 4 of each of these. And I love the texture on those. Sorry, I'm enjoying playing with the lighting on them. Here we have... Oh, okay, yeah, so this is... We did do a Hidden Fates stream. Now, Hidden Fates was a little bit like Shining Fates and Shiny Star V, in that the cards that you like, some of the more chase cards that you got on them, and so actually, not all of them, not just the chase cards, see, there's a few of them. Excuse me, bear with me one sec. Their thing was that they... the cards themselves weren't... It's not just that the cards were shiny. They were the shiny versions of the Pokemon. So obviously, Espeon is usually purple, but shiny Espeon is green. So it wasn't just that the cards were purple. They actually had... cards were purple. Cards were shiny. You had the shiny cards of the shiny versions of Pokemon. And that was the same with Hidden Fates and with Shining Fates and also Shiny Star V, and then something else in Japan. I can't remember exactly what it was. So you might see a few of these coming through. Not of Espeon necessarily, but you know what I mean. Next one, we have, which is another example of it. So this is also from Hidden Fates. Now this is obviously shiny Mewtwo. So Mewtwo is normally purple. This is green Mewtwo, just like we have green Espeon. And next in this box we have, what was this from? Oh, this is from Evolving Skies. Did we do a stream on Evolving Skies? Or maybe this was from the, I'm trying to remember if we did a stream on Evolving Skies or whether this was from the 120 boosters. So we have a Jolteon Vmax. I think this is one that I did actually also have the Jolteon V for, but I don't know if I sent that off to be graded. I might do that at some point. That's come back as an 8, which is a little bit disappointing, but I don't know if you can see on this, but the casings for ace grading are never really perfect. It's quite annoying, really. In fact, I'm going to zoom in for a sec, and then I'm going to use my very technical tool. Like, obviously, if you've not been on one of these streams before, you'll know this tool before. So this is a stylus on the end of a screwdriver. Now, if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. And that is because when I'm doing these streams, I need to be able, it's not on autofocus, I need to be able to touch the little thing to get me in focus. But since I've been doing the Totally Motor streams, I haven't been bothering to normally when I'm doing a little behind the scenes thing, normally when I'm doing a Power Rangers vs Super Sentai stream, I will use a tablet to control the focus and things. With Totally Motors, I'm close enough that I don't need to do that. So it's now a stylus on a screwdriver on a hot shoe extender. So let me zoom in on this for a sec. Zooming in, and then I'm just going to use my very technical tool to focus, and you might be able to see now, you can just see like little imperfections in where the case has been glued together. Now I don't think those ever touch the card, so it's not necessarily a big deal. Or actually, now it's zoomed in, you can see some of the texture on that, and in fact I'm going to show you some of the texture on the Celebrations cards while we're at it. If I can get it, there we go. Yeah, you can start to see some of the sort of slight texture behind. There we go, that's it. You can see the texture behind the shininess. That's what I was playing with when the light was when I was playing with the light. But yeah, no, it's a little bit annoying that those aren't perfect, but I don't think they ever touch the card, so it's not necessarily that big a deal. Okay, so hang on, I need to get a. Okay, there we go, and then focus. There we go. And the last one for this box. Oh wait, Jared. So it looks like the Japanese word for metamorphosis is hentai. Oh, really? Is that what Pokemon? Oh, let's not Google that. Pokemon hentai. The last one for this box is. Yeah, it was another one of the Blastoise, and it's another 10 gem mint as well. Oh, there we go. Then there you can see the texture on that one quite well. So it's not just that they're shiny, they also have this sort of extra texture to them, where it all goes in a sort of warp effect. Really like these ones. It's a shame that we only got the one Charizard, because I kind of don't want to sell that Charizard. I'll sell a couple of these ones, because I don't need multiples of them, but I'll keep one of each, obviously, because I really like those ones. Okay, halfway through this box. And again, just a reminder, if you're just joining us now, this is not how Ace Grading package them. I've got rid of all the packaging to save time. Ooh, we're building up a bit of a pile of cardboard as well. Piles upon piles. Okay, so first up from this box, we have either a Western or Korean card, and it is another Rayquaza EX. Now, okay, so now this is a 5, but I'm not going to be too bothered about this, because as I say, this is a 2015 Roaring Skies one. This is another one. Actually, I'm going to be a little bit bothered about it in a sec, but I'll get to that in a sec. This has been in and out of folders for the best part of, well, 7 years. But what on earth? I mean, the edges are maybe there's enough on there to make it not a 10. but I'm really struggling to see why that would be a 5. That looks pretty... I mean, remember... I remembered EX is excellent in ace grading. Bear with me. I keep hitting hide user on channel, but the bots keep coming. I don't know if you're seeing them or not, but they keep getting reported and blocked. Anyway, yeah, I really don't know why that would be a 5, but as I say, EX in ace grading is excellent, so even as a 5 is a relatively high grade, so 1 for that Charizard was poor. I can't remember what... I don't think we've had anything... I think 5 is the lowest we've had on this stream so far, but as I say, ace grading are harsh in their gradings, so you need to kind of remember that even 5 means excellent. So when you get a 10, you know it's perfect. So I can't be too upset with that. It's just it stings a little bit when it's a card that you've had for so many years and you really like it. You know, I've had this card for 7 years. To have it come back as a 5 seems a little bit harsh, but as I say, 5 actually means excellent. Now I'm just looking for those Rayquazas because I kind of want to see, because this looks like it's artwork that's been recycled. Not from that one. Not from that one. Oh, no, not quite. It's close, though. No, not quite. It's close, but, yeah, I don't quite know. I still don't know how that Dark Blastoise came back as a counterfeit, and it's quite upsetting, actually, because I've sort of cherished that card for 20-odd years. It's one that I might end up having to buy, like a graded... I think they're a bit expensive, though. I quite like a graded Dark Charizard. Again, not for the monetary value or anything, just because that's a card that I thought I had, and clearly I haven't got. I haven't thrown it away. I've got it, but it's now... And now I know that it's counterfeit. Next up is... Oh, Dragonite. Oh, actually, that's come back as a 9, even though that's been... This is another one that's been in my folder, because I ended up pulling a lot of cards out of a folder because I've been downsizing this studio a little bit, just because I don't want to get into it too much, but basically I don't know if I'm going to have this studio next year. So I've been downsizing the studio a little bit, so I started pulling some cards out of folders to get them graded. A, to protect them, and B, because then I may or may not sell them or not. So that's really cool that's come back as a 9. Obviously, Dragonite, Dragon type, even though it's come back. This one is actually a colourless version. 2016 Eeveelutions card. Quite a nice one that I like, a gold one. To think that that's been in and out of folders for 6 years and moved with me multiple times and still come back as a 9. Pretty cool, actually. But just shows, just because cards that have been of the same era, been treated in the same way, there's still going to be discrepancies in terms of how and what they're graded as. Just like this one. So this is a 2015 Breakthrough Mewtwo EX. This is also another one. This is even older. This one's comes back as an 8. And again, remember that in terms of ace grading, 8 means near mint to mint. So even though, you know, like I say, even though it's not a 9 or a 10, anything above 5 is good in ace grading, basically. It just doesn't have that same... I don't even know how to put it, like snobbish collectability. Like if somebody's collecting just because they want like the best of the best, or they want it for money's worth, they only want the 9s and 10s. But if you're just collecting because you like Pokemon cards, anything above a 5 is fine. In ace grading anyway. I don't know what it's like with PSA and others. Certainly not some of the smaller ones. I wouldn't go for anything below a 9 or an 8. Next up is another one from that same sort of period. This is 2016 Breakpoint, Ho-Oh EX. Another 8 near mint. Another gold card. These are coming back better than I expected, actually. Happy with that one. And then this might be another one, actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, another one, Latios EX. This is the Dragon type one. It's come back as a 7. But even 7. 7 sounds harsh, but that 7's a near mint. Because 6, I remember we were trying to figure out what 6 on that Dead End GX, what EXMT meant. It's excellent to mint is what it meant. So 6 out of 10 is excellent to mint. 5 out of 10 is excellent. So that just goes to show what you can't just base it just off a number. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's all. These were all from the set. These were all on the same sheet in a folder actually. In fact, this might be another one. Yes, it is. This is one of my. I do actually really like these ones. Primal Kyogre, if that's how it's pronounced, Kyogre. EX. This is a card that you actually needed. You needed to have the. Did you need to have Primal Yeah, you needed to have Kyogre. Kyogre EX, and then you had Primal Kyogre EX. But then there was also another card that went in this as a trio, which was the Spirit Link. So basically, when you evolved Kyogre into Kyogre EX, Kyogre EX into Primal Kyogre EX, and it was the same with Groudon. Your turn would end unless you had the Spirit Link card, and the Spirit Link card meant that you could evolve it into this and still move. And there were a few of those. There was Sceptile, there was a Tyranitar, there was Mewtwo, there was quite a few of those, and they kind of went as a if you were collecting to play with this card, the Spirit Links were kind of a must-have card. So if you're ever building a deck like in an Pokemon trading card game online, or when Pokemon Live eventually arrives, we did a Goodbye Pokemon trading card game online stream in, was it February now? And Pokemon Live, it doesn't look like it's anywhere close to being launched in Europe. I don't know what it's like. I think they did their trials in Canada, but I don't know if it's live in the if anyone in the stream, Jared or anybody in the US, if you can tell me whether Pokemon Live is launched there, but it certainly hasn't launched in Europe, I don't believe. Japanese card. This one is okay. Oh wait, no, this is still the Japanese one. Okay, so I was going to say, we another gem mint. This is one that I put aside earlier. So we're still looking for the English version of this card. I didn't realise I'd sent 2 of these off to be graded, but we got 2 of them now. I actually always wondered what that word said, because as I say, in the English card, that's in Japanese, and it says Emerald Break. But now I know that this says Emerald Break, because I'll show you when we get to the English card. And the original card, actually, as well. So here we have... Oh, there we go. This is the English one. So this is obviously based on... we've got all this sort of glitter effect. The glitter effect wasn't on the original card, and we'll probably come across that at some point. I'm pretty sure I sent one off. This is the Celebrations version. And obviously, I always wondered what this said here. And obviously, the move is called Emerald Break. But now that we've got the Japanese version, we can see that Emerald Break is down here, and that is in English. So I just found that amusing that the English card has it written in Japanese, but the Japanese card has it written in English, which I never knew until we got to do these Celebrations and 25th anniversary streams. So again, I'm going to keep those aside just in case we come across the original version of it. So next up, we have Mewtwo EX, another 10 gem mint. This is from the Celebrations set. Celebrations of 25th anniversary. A lot of 10 gem mints coming out of that. It's worth me buying all those hundreds of boosters then. It's not. If these had all come back as 4 and 5s, I probably would have smashed my head through the camera. I've got to get a return on investment somehow. Next up, we have Charizard EX. What was this from? Oh, this is from 2014 Flashfire. Okay, so this is quite old. 2014, saying that's quite old. That's a bit depressing, isn't it? So this is from 8 years ago, obviously. This is the Charizard EX. This has been sat in a folder because I used to put all my Pokemon cards in a folder, but I've been trying to sort of get the ones that are worth grading, get them graded. Not necessarily to make the money off them, but just to get them behind plastic and sort of protect them. An 8 near mint, considering it's 8 years old. I'm okay with that. None of these I've really been upset with, to be fair. These have all been relatively... I've been a bit confused by a couple of them, but then again, I don't know all the ins and outs of the grading. We got a Japanese card. This is a different Eternatus Vmax. Okay, and I think there are actually a few different versions of this. So obviously we had the Vmax Climax Eternatus, which had the trainer on it, whose name I can never remember. The trainer from Sword and Shield. This one doesn't have it. But there is, I think there's a third one of these as well, but I'm not going to be able to find that other Eternatus Vmax. It's at the bottom of a very deep pile. But anyway. English-Japanese text thing reminds me of when Portal did an Easter egg in... Oh, interesting. I've never actually played Portal or Portal 2. I have them. I bought them when they were on sale on Steam, but I've just never had the time to get around to playing them. I know they're really, really good games, and I really want to play them, but I just never got around to playing them. Next up. Ah, wait, is that the same one? This is the same one, isn't it? Maybe it's not that there were 3 then. Maybe it was just that I had multiple versions of one of the cards. So those are both 9s, both from... Not from the same set, as it were. They were from different... not the same set, you know what I mean. They were from different booster packs, but they both come back as gem mints, so that's pretty cool. Same age, same condition. 2 more from this box. We have... Ah, okay, so again... Oh, it's a shame that's a bit of it. That's an 8 and not a 9. One of my favourite cards of all time, Salamence Vmax. There is also a rainbow version of this card, which we did cover in the last video from Ace Grading, which you'll be able to go back and see. Actually, I'm not too upset that this is an 8, because I will probably sell this one because I've already got one of these. But that's one of my favourite designs. Salamence is one of my favourite Pokemon. And I've got the rainbow version of that as well somewhere. And then the last one for this box is Charizard V. Darkness Ablaze, Charizard V. Never found the VMAX. So this is one that goes along with that pink Charizard V that I showed you earlier. And then that is the VMAX version. So there's this one, there's the pink version, and then of Charizard V, and then there's a VMAX. They sort of go three together. Actually, if I can find that Charizard... Sorry, the piles are getting so big now that I might not be able to find it, because I'd quite like to have a look at that. I don't think I'm going to be able to come across it, although we might have another one coming up. So if we do, I'll have a look at that at some point. So I'm gonna put this aside, and then if we come across that another one of those pink Charizard Vs from the Darkness Ablaze Elite Trainer box, we'll compare them and see if they're the same card in terms of the same moves and things. Still no Pokemon Live in the US. I don't know why. I mean, I heard that the beta did not go well. I don't know exactly why it didn't go well, but I know there were a lot of people complaining on like the Instagram videos of Pokemon trading card game online. No, just Pokemon trading card game, because they kept using Pokemon Live footage when showing off the new expansions that were coming out, but Pokemon Live still isn't a thing. It was meant to be. I think it was meant to be launching in February. That's why we did that Goodbye Pokemon Trading Card Game online stream. Because one thing that obviously we've done this. We've done lots of PokeMondays streams now. So I've probably got a good 400-500 digital, QR code cards from those streams that I've been saving for Pokemon Live, and so we can do some streams on Pokemon Live, but it's not out yet. Anyway, so this is the last box of the second big box. So the first one from the last small box of the second big box it's a Japanese card. Okay, so this is the Venusaur VMAX. So this is the one that comes from the starter set. So as I say, we showed you the Blastoise one earlier. This is the Venusaur one. So with Blastoise and Venusaur, you've got 2 of these guaranteed in the starter set. In fact, let me just take a sneak peek. No, it's not. 2 of these in the starter set. You only got 1 of the Charizard, and we haven't come across the Charizard yet. One yet, interestingly enough. But that's the Venusaur one, an 8. Okay, can't complain too much with that one. The next one along is the second Blastoise, and in fact I can see the other Blastoise over there, but I can't get to it but that was a 9 as well. So those 2 exactly the same. One of my favorite cards, this design. I love these VMAX cards of the base set. The Venusaur one's not as interesting, but the Charizard and the Blastoise, I really love those designs. Pokemon have never got the online trading card games. I don't know. I really like the Pokemon trading card game online. However, one thing that I am really annoyed about with Pokemon Live is that they're getting rid of the mechanic to trade. It's going to be Pokemon trading card game live where you can't trade. And that was quite a big thing in Pokemon trading card game online. Because you know, if you had a rare card, you could swap it for other cards or other packs. But Pokemon Live, unless they change it, it might have been one of the negative feedbacks they got. But it was stated in the they can never remember what I think they called it sunsetting. I think they didn't call it it's going away. They called it sunsetting or something. The sunset notes, they said that Pokemon Trading Card Game Live will not have trading in it, because I have a bad feeling that Pokemon Live is going to be heavily monetized, because Pokemon Trading Card Game Online is not monetized in any way whatsoever. Obviously there's trading in there, so you can, and one thing that was actually quite good about Pokemon Trading Card Game Online is that people would sell you the digital cards from the packs, the QR code cards, in packs of 100 if you wanted, because the older ones weren't worth much, but the newer ones were quite good currency in the game to trade for rare cards. But I have a feeling that they're getting rid of that because Pokemon Live will have a lot of monetization in it, because one of the things that was also in the sunset notes is that when you switch over your account from Pokemon Trading Card Game Online to Pokemon Live, you can only transfer up to, I think, 100 unopened packs and things. The rest will just disappear. And then it doesn't matter how many of a certain card you have. You could have 10 of them. You can only take 4 of that card over. But any unopened packs and things that you still have, they will get converted into gems or something, which suggests to me that there's going to be an in-game currency. Which there was an in-game currency in Pokemon Trading Card Game Online, but you couldn't buy them. You couldn't buy the credits. You had to win them, or they were sign-in bonuses. Like, you'd get certain things if you signed in every day for 7 days, and then at 7 days, at the end of 7 days, you got a booster pack. I have a feeling Pokemon Live is going to be, you can buy booster packs, you can buy coins, you can buy gems, you can buy whatever else. It's going to be horribly monetized in terms of microtransactions, and that might be one of the reasons why it's delayed. I don't really know. That's just me speculating, but I have a feeling that's probably what it is. Anyway, next one up. Good. Okay, so we got a pink chart. Where did I put it? Here it is. So, yes, it is. So my theory is right. Yeah. So these are both from Darkness Ablaze. This one is listed as a Black Star promo from an Elite Trainer box, but it's the Darkness Ablaze Elite Trainer box. So those two cards are exactly the same. It's just this is the Black Star promo version of it, and sadly I don't have the English card to show you, but it goes along with that. That is the Vmax. So those two Charizard Vs are go to that Vmax. They're both exactly the same card from the same set, but obviously this was from actually I don't know if that one came in booster packs or not. I think that one was from booster packs, and that one was only with the Elite Trainer box. But we have a lot of these. We have at least 10 of these. In fact, we might even have more of them. Next up, we have a Japanese card, and it is... Aha! Well, there you go. That is the one I just showed you. So this is my PSA graded card. This is a PSA 10. This is an Ace grading 9. I have no idea what the differences are. I have no idea why this is a 9 and not a 10. But this was, again, this Japanese version is not that rare. This you can pull out. You know you're going to get it in a starter set. It's just that you only get one of them, whereas in Blastoise and Venusaur you get 2. So it's not that rare. So, excuse me, even though we opened 120, 130 sorry, I've got hiccups. Darkness Ablaze boosters, we never found the English version of this. But there we go. We got 2 Japanese versions of it now. One's a PSA one that I just bought as a PSA one. One was one that we got on a stream. Did we do it on a stream? I can't even remember if we did it on a stream now, or whether I opened it off stream. But that's the Japanese version. And it's one of my favorite card designs of all time. So happy to have that. And a 9 is pretty cool. And to be fair, that label's pretty cool too. You can go away, lovechat.xyz. It must be a different channel each time because I keep blocking them. They must have multiple channels of the same name. Okay, next up we have... okay, this is the Korean... That's why it was confused me a little bit first. This is the Korean version, so it has the Western back on it. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. If you like Pokemon cards just for the designs and you think they're cool and you want to collect them, it's worth looking at the Korean versions, because as I say, so this one is from the Japanese starter set. This one, it's gone up in value since I bought them. This one, you could probably get the starter set for about £50, but you're guaranteed that you're going to get this. The English version, you're probably going to pay over £100 just for the card, and as we proved, it's not worth trying to find the card because it's non-guaranteed, and we opened 130 boosters and we never found it. The Korean one is also from a starter set. In fact, it's from the same starter set that you'd get in the Japanese version. Slightly different version in terms of what else you'd got in it, but you're guaranteed this card, and that's about £30. So if it was that you were just looking for this card and you didn't just want to buy the card, you wanted to buy a set or whatever, the English version, you can buy hundreds and hundreds of boosters and never find it. The Japanese version, you can pay £50 and guaranteed you get one, plus everything else that comes with it. The Korean version, £30. So the Korean version, if you're just somebody that likes Pokemon cards, you're not looking at them to make money off them or whatever, always look at the Korean version. Honestly, it's worth doing. That is my one... Sorry, hiccups. That is my one top tip from doing PokeMondays. If there's just a card that you really want... First of all, if you want the Western one, don't try and find it, just buy it. Bite the bullet and buy it. But if you're not concerned about whether it's the English language version, look at Japanese, but also look at Korean. Next up, a Japanese card, and it is... Oh, that's the other Vmax, Venusaur Vmax that from, what was it, both 9s. So that's both... So that was the Blastoise and the Venusaur. Obviously, you were guaranteed 2 in the starter set, and they've both come out as 9s in both situations. And bear with me, because my throat is getting very dry after 2.5 hours. Okay, next up, we have another one of these Charizard Vs. Honestly, I can't remember how many we did. I can't remember if... I think I sent off 8 at a time. I can't remember if I did it in this set or whether it was in the previous one. So we might see a few more of these. But it's fine because I really like this card. And that one's a 10, whereas I think the other ones are 9. So that might be one that I keep, and then the rest I might get rid of. In fact, is this one also 1? Yes, it is. Oh, but that's an 8. That's an interesting. So why is one at... sorry, bear with me. I'm going to look at these quite closely. One is a 10 gem mint and one's an 8 near mint. And they look exactly the same. Maybe I'll sell the 10 then. Because the 8 looks perfect to me. I can't see a single fault with the 8. So maybe I'll sell it. Maybe I'll just keep the 8 because I only want to keep it because it looks cool and I like that card. I don't care whether it's an 8 or a 10. And to be fair, I mean, 8 is still classed as near mint to mint, so... But still, I don't see why there's a difference of 2 grades between those. Is this another one, actually? Is this going to be a third one? Yes, it is! There's another 10 gem mint. Okay, I think this is the one where there were 8. So, let's just... Is this going to be... Yes, it is! And another 10 gem mint. Is this another one? Yes, it is! And it's a 9. Okay, is this one going to be one? Yes, it is, and it's another 9. And finally, in this box, is it? There it is, and another 10 gem mint. How many have we gone through now? I think we had 1 earlier. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then I think we had 1 8. So that'll be all 8 of them. And then I think we had a few from the other video as well. But shows how many... In fact, this is actually quite a good illustration because it shows just how many Darkness Ablaze boxes we had to go through, because each one of these Elite Trainer boxes that we bought had 10 boosters in them. So there's 80 boosters there, and then there's another 2 or 3 from the last stream, so that's 110. And then we had more on top of that, and we never found this card. Just goes to show that if you want a card, bite the bullet and buy it, or buy the Japanese version or Korean. In fact, these are going to start encroaching into the frame now. So that's the end of the second big box. We're on to the third big box. I'm just going to see how many small boxes are in the third one. I think it's another 4. So we're 2.5 hours in. We've done 8 small boxes. We've got 4 more, so we're 2/3 of the way through basically, and my desk is so full I have no idea where I'm going to put all these ones are. So let's start opening these up. The last oh, actually I hadn't even taken these ones out of the foam yet, so I really don't know what's in these. I mean, I didn't know what was in the other ones before, but I might caught a glimpse of the end ones because I'd taken the. So this is actually how so they are actually Ace Grading do send them quite well packaged. I can at least illustrate that now. Oh, actually no, I'm going to open it that way because otherwise you're going to see. We're going to spoil it. Okay, so first one out of this box. It's better not be another Charizard V. We have... okay. So, there'll be a few of these. These... Actually, if there's anybody from a different country in Europe that got these non-England versions, please do let me know. So these were created for Euro 2020, which is the 2020 European Football Championships, as in the international ones, for those of you that are outside of Europe and you might not know what that is. Every 4 years you have the World Cup, and then every other 4 years, as in like 2 years, you have the European Championships. Now, obviously, Euro 2020 didn't take place in 2020. It took place in 2021. So the release of these cards it wasn't handled very well. So basically, if you went into a game, which is kind of like GameStop in the UK, you could get one of these if you paid, I think, if you bought £15 worth of Pokemon card stuff. It didn't have to be booster packs, it could be anything. You'd get one of these for free. And the idea was that they'd release them each month or whatever it was leading up to the tournament. But obviously COVID happened and the release schedule went all out of whack. And then by the end of it all, Pokemon cards were because they weren't being printed and sent over because of COVID, they were actually quite hard to get hold of. So in the end they were just like, if you buy anything Pokemon at all, it doesn't have to be £15 worth, you'd get one of these, and by the end of it they'd actually let you choose. Now there were 5 of these, I believe. There was Eevee, Sobble, Scorbunny, Grookey, and Pikachu. 4 of those are relatively easy to find. Pikachu is impossible to find because Pikachu was, I mean, you'll be able to see him very faintly in the corner there. All of these were available through stores. Pikachu was not. Pikachu you had to apply specially to get hold of, and you didn't apply to Pokemon, you applied to the Football Association. And you could only do it if you were a parent who was a manager of a kids' football team. So you could apply to get a box of the Pikachus for your kids' football team, which means that they are a little bit of a holy grail in terms of collectors in the UK, because somewhere someone will have boxes of about 30 of them. Or they were all handed to kids and they were immediately played with over COVID and got destroyed, so they're very rare. And these aren't really very expensive. The Pikachu ones are worth a few £100s each before they're graded. I mean, ungraded, a few £100s. So this is the Eevee one, Eevee on the ball, and I imagine what we're going to pull out now is a few. I think I have a couple of each of these. So that's Eevee. Let's see if this one is going to be the same. Yeah, okay, that's another Eevee, another 9. And then we have... Is this going to be one of them? Okay, there's Score Bunny on the ball. So you couldn't quite tell with Eevee. So these are in England kits. So Eevee was in a white kit. You can't see the badge, but that's meant to be the England home kit. This is meant to be the England away kit. And the Pikachu obviously was the England home kit as well. And I believe... Someone might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, and please, if anybody is in a different European country that had a team in the European Championships, I don't think Ireland were in. They went in the final. I think it was only if you got to the finals. But if anybody from France or Germany or anybody who might be in the stream, let me know whether they did these in your country with the appropriate kits for your country in it. Oh wait, no, that's not one of it at all. That's the Japanese one. We've got to the Eevee Heroes as well. So Eevee Heroes was a specific Japanese set. Now all of these cards, I think, in the West were released across various different expansions, but in Japan there was an Eevee Heroes expansion, and it worked in a similar way to Blue Sky Stream and 25th Anniversary, whereby you had the booster packs where you could get the Eevees and Eeveelutions, but the special set, these came in boosters which I think had was it 1 card or 4? I can't remember, but they were smaller booster packs basically, where if you wanted the special the sort of the nicer artwork VMAXs, they were only available in those packs. So I guess we'll have a mix of sort of the futsal on the ball cards and Eevee Heroes in this set. So this is a Japanese one, so this might also be an Eevee. Oh wait, no, this is the Shiny Star V Charizard. Okay, now this is where I have to explain things a little bit. So this was the Darkness Ablaze special Charizard, and as I say, it was the Charizard V that went to this VMAX. Now, the English language version of this card is very rare and very expensive. Japanese one, not so much, but it is the shiny Charizard V, as in like the blackish purple Charizard V. Now, you'll see that it's the same card, same hit points, same moves, same damage, everything, but it's the black purpley Charizard, and it'd be the same for the English language one. Now this is the Shining Fates Shiny Star V Charizard, and that goes along with, rather than this Charizard VMAX, it goes with this Charizard VMAX, which is the shiny version, same artwork, but it's the shiny version of it, the blackish purple Charizard. And again, this is from Shiny Star V. So this is Shiny Star V, this is Shiny Star V. And I think we might have the English language version of this. Again, the Japanese one, not that hard to find. The English language one, very hard to find. But I think we managed to find one in our Shining Fates stream. I think we did a combined Shining Fates and Shiny Star V. So this one actually turned up in a stream with... not this one, this is my PSA one, but it turned up with a version of this and a version of the English language one. So I'll show you that as we get to it. But it's all from the same artwork, and they're some of my favourite cards. So I'm really happy to get this, and that's come back as a 9 as well, so that's really cool. So next up we have... okay, so this is the Grookey on the ball, again in an England home kit. So we got Grookey on the ball, Score Bunny on the ball, Eevee on the ball, and there'll be a Sobble on the ball, but we don't have a Pikachu on the ball because they're too valuable. And Shane, you're absolutely right. I bet Gareth Southgate's hoarding them all. So here we have... there we go. Oh wow, that's come back as a 10 gem mint as well. Awesome. So that is the English language version of this card. So that is from Shining Fates. So that goes along with that one. Obviously this is the Japanese version, but there is an English language version of that. And then there is the Japanese language one, Again, this is my PSA one, but I believe we pulled one of these in the stream as well. Actually, that's a 10 gem mint, and my PSA one's only a 9, although that's English language as well. Really happy with that. It's my favourite design, and the fact that that's come back as a 10 gem mint, that's quite valuable, but that's not getting sold. I'm really happy with that one. As I say, I'm not going through all of these to make money. A lot of these will be sold to make money back from the PokeMondays streams, but a lot of these also will go into my personal collection because I'm just really happy that we managed to pull them, and it's memories that I shared with all of you. Got a Japanese card, and oh, okay, so this was an Eternatus Vmax. This was from also Shiny Star V. So this is a little bit like that Rayquaza Vmax, but it's also a little bit like the Zacian and Zamazenta. So these were spread across multiple sets. They're not actually sort of from a certain set, as it were. And obviously their class is ultra rare. But yeah, I really like these black and gold cards. There's not much to say about them. I mean, they're the same as the non-black and gold ones. It's the cool thing about them is they're black and gold. We've got another Japanese card here, and it is... okay, so we got another Eevee Heroes one. This was, again, from the special set. So this is the Vaporeon version. Nice big... I was going to say nice big sprites. They're not sprites, are they? But you know what I mean. Nice big artwork on these. And then we got another Japanese card, which is... okay. It's only come back as a 9, but that's fine. So that's the same as my PSA one. So that is the Japanese version of that, which there is slight differences in terms of the shininess on those. In fact, it's sort of easier to see the English language one. The Japanese one is shinier. Oh, has it got a different texture as well? Oh, actually, that's interesting. The Japanese one's got a different texture on it. Japanese one's actually nicer, isn't it? Although the English one's nicer to see. So, Japanese version, English version, and then the Japanese V to go along with it. So those were all pulled from the same stream. That was a good stream to be on that one. It's probably still available to watch on our channel. I don't know if they're all unlisted now because they took up too much space on the channel, but you'll be able to find them in the PokeMondays playlists. And some of them are on Pomelo Retro Extra as well, so go give Pomelo Retro Extra a like. And finally for this box, we have an English or Western card. Western or Korean card, and that's the Sobble. Did we show you the Sobble? I don't think we had yet. So that was... put these aside. So that was Sobble on the ball, Eevee on the ball. Oh, actually, Sobble's in the England goalkeeper kit, I just noticed. The yellow one. So Sobble on the ball, Eevee on the ball, Scorbunny on the ball, Grookey on the ball, and then obviously there was a Pikachu as well. Now, that's come back to 6. But again, remember, 6 means excellent to mint, so you can't hold that too harshly. But obviously, these were all individually packaged, so you know they were all thrown in a box together. So you kind of expect them to not necessarily get 10s because they're more likely to get slightly bent or whatever it happens to be. So that might be why that is. Okay, 3 boxes to go. Again, hang on. These are still in the foam. If you could see the pile of cardboard boxes behind me. Which way? That's the backs on them. Okay, so I'll open it that way. Really running out of room on my desk. In fact, I might zoom out at some point and just give you, when the stream is over, I'll zoom out and give you a perspective of just how many cards this is, because this is getting a bit crazy. Okay. 3rd to last box. And we have, first one from this is a Japanese card. Again, okay, so another one from the Eevee Vmax ones. Not a lot to say about these. They're just really cool. That means they're just really cool Eeveelutions. That was the Espeon Vmax. And come back as a 9 mint. Cool. My colleague runs a junior team. I'm asking. Ooh. Let me know, Mark. let me know because yeah, if he applied to the FA to get some of those Pikachu cards, let me know if he's got one, because I would love to have that set. Because I'm not a huge football fan, but I like international football. So and I like women's international football as well. So I was very much celebrating Euro 2022. Japanese card. Oh, we got another one of those EVV really gets me. It's not, because it's not even EV, it's Espeon. So we've got Espeon Vmax, another 9 mints. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about them. They're just very pretty. You're right, John. That's pretty much all there is to say about them. Korean or Western. Flying Pikachu Vmax. I think we saw one of those earlier. 10 gem mint. Again, another 10 gem mint from the Celebration set. And then we have another Flying Pikachu Vmax. Another 10 gem mint from the Celebration set. Celebrations and 25th anniversary really get, which is surprising because the boosters only have 4 cards in them, so they're less, the packs are less sturdy, so you kind of expect them to be more damaged, but they've come back all good so far. What we got here, another Score Bunny on the ball, come back as a 9. Getting 9s is good with these, because as I say, they were individually wrapped. Still love my purple. Thank you. In fact, actually, it's more purple than normal, actually. Take a look at that. Because I went to a wedding at the weekend, and bless him, he was meant to get married in 2020, and he's been waiting 2 years to do it, and they finally got around to doing it. But they got married in Bali and had the reception at the weekend. And I was going to try a different colour. I tried lilac, but it came out, like, I didn't hate it, but it came out a bit... okay, for the British people in the stream, you might know what this means. It came out a bit blue rinse. Now, if you're not British, or maybe it's a term in Ireland, I don't really know. Blue rinse is a term used for, you know, when old ladies decide that they've reached a certain point in their life, that they go to the hairdressers and they get their hair cut short and curled, and it goes white, but they put a little bit of blue or purple in there just to be a bit fun. That's what I looked like. So, but the thing is, to try the lilac, normally what I do with getting it purple is I dye it, I bleach it blonde, because my natural hair colour, when I'm dyeing it purple, it just goes black with the purple. So I have to bleach it blonde and then dye it purple, and you get sort of slightly brassy tones in there. It looks a little bit metallic. But to go lilac, I had to bleach it white. Like, I don't mean blonde, I mean white. So, the fact that I did lilac first and then went purple, it's kind of gone very purple. It's almost like a reverse Joker. Not the green, the purple, but it's there is actually reason behind why it's purple. It's not just because, you know, I'm a YouTuber, I'm having a midlife crisis because of the stuff that I've talked about in my channel update. It's that, I guess, because we've relaunched Totally Motors. We're still very small, obviously, and when we go to manufacturers to ask them for bikes, we'll get a bike every now and then, and we'll make the most out of it. But it's when somebody's talking about us and go, "Oh, Matt from Totally Motors wants to borrow a bike." Which one was Matt again? He's the guy with purple hair. It's all about the marketing. Anyway, brief interlude over. I'm still getting hiccups. The next card in the deck, the pack, whatever you want to call it, is another Score Bunny on the ball. So I must have got, I think, now, okay, so the reason why I've got more of these is because these are the ones that were meant to come out second, I believe. And when game stores started opening back up, obviously still in the pandemic, but, you know, not necessarily in lockdown, this is the one that they had. And the other two, one was before the pandemic, which meant it was actually quite hard to get hold of initially. The other two were delayed because of printing issues with Pokemon cards. So this one was ended up being the most common at the time. Now they're all common, but this was the most common. So I actually ended up with a few of those whilst going in and out of stores. Next up, you got a Japanese card, and it is the Glaceon Vmax. And again, these are all from Eevee Heroes. Not a lot to say about these because obviously these aren't cards that I would ever play with because they're Japanese, and obviously I've got them graded now, so you can't really play with them. That's a 10 gem mint. and not a lot to say about them other than they are very pretty. I do like the Eevee Heroes cards. Another Japanese card, and it is another one of the Glaceon, although that one is 9 as opposed to a 10, but that's all right. Next up, we have Flying Pikachu VMAX. Again, another 10 gem mints. God, Celebrations has been really good, hasn't it? Not much to say about that, obviously, though, because we've seen that one already. Then we have another Surfing Pikachu VMAX. That one's a 9. Again, we've talked about that one. Good chunky Pikachus on there, like that. Then we have another Surfing Pikachu VMAX. Another 10 gem mint. And then we have another Surfing Pikachu VMAX. That was a 9. You're starting to see a pattern here with a few of these. Then we have... Oh, okay. So this is the... Oh, okay, yeah. So this is one that I put aside. So this is... They're both 10 gem mint. This gives you a good idea of the difference between some of the Celebrations cards and the 25th anniversary cards. The same set, but one was English language and Japanese. The English language ones look a little bit closer to what the original cards did. Now, the original cards didn't have this sort of glitter effect behind it, and I think I sent the original card off to be graded, so I'll be able to show you that. But they're still matte behind, around the edges, and they're still yellow. Whereas if on the Japanese cards, Japanese cards often are silver around the edges anyway, rather than yellow, but they've gone for the glitter effect sort of all around, and then it's just matte on there. But they're both gem mints. In fact, this one was also a gem mint, and then that one was also a gem mint. So those have all come back really good, and I very highly doubt the original Team Rocket one is going to be a 10 gem mint, but we'll see when we get to that one. And there we have, okay, that's another 10 gem mint from the Celebration set. So again, we'll put that aside and wait until we find the original one. And then we have... this is it. So this is the original Team Rocket one from the year 2000. Come back as an 8. That's pretty good, because I think I've played with this card a few times. So obviously the original one was not a holo version, but there might have been a holo version. I can't remember. But that's the original Dark Gyarados. And then obviously you have the Celebrations version of Dark Gyarados. And then you have the 25th anniversary versions of Dark Gyarados. So those all came back as 10 gem mints. Obviously I wasn't expecting that, but getting an 8 near mint to mint on a 22-year-old card, pretty happy with that. Can't complain that. Go away, Bixby, on my phone. I'm not talking to you. Not bad. I like that. Oh, that's the end of that box. Okay. Penultimate box. Oh, wait, hang on. There's a few extra in here. What's happened here? Did I start opening this and then didn't manage to close them all? That's probably what happened. Let's get the foam off of these. Oh, cardboard box avalanche. Right. Second to last box. Let's see what we got. First up, we have... okay, so these, yeah, so as I say, I sent off a few of these original Team Rockets cards. These aren't holo versions, these are just the non-holo versions, but that's the Dark Alakazam. Again, that's come back as an 8 near mint mint. That's pretty good for a card from the year 2000. Pretty good on that. We got a Japanese card, and it is, this is the secret rare Ditto. Now, this is from Shiny Star V. Now, like I was saying, Hidden Fate, Shiny Star V, and something else in Japan, their special cards, shall we call them, the ultra rares, the secret rares, whatever you want, they're shiny versions of the Pokemon. So we did find the non-shiny versions of this card. I don't know whether I sent them off to be graded. We will see that as we go through. But obviously that is why that's a blue Ditto. And we spent most of the stream searching for, I think, the Ditto and the Ditto Vmax. This is Ditto V. Ditto V and Ditto Vmax. I think we found them. So, in fact, they might be the next ones up. So let's just put that aside. And let's turn... This is another Japanese card. Yeah, there it is. So that's the V and the Vmax. opposite way around this time. The V is a 9 and the Vmax is a 10. That's cool. So they may or may not be the next ones up, but there's a pink version of this as well. So let's just... Oh no. Don't fall over. I'm just going to have a quick sneak peek. No, it's not. Okay, so we're going to put these aside. Oh, if I can find somewhere to put them aside. Okay, so this is one of a few that are really interesting in terms of artwork. This is from the Vmax Climax set. Now, I said the Vmax Climax set often had a trainer in them, but it's not just that they had a trainer in them. They had really cool artwork to go along with them, and actually that's come back as a gem mint, and it's got the really cool label as well. I don't think these are particularly rare, even though they're labeled as character rare, but they're really cool designs. I really like those. And there's a few of them, so I'm going to put that one aside because... Oh, wait, no, the next one's up a Western one. So these are all out of order, but that's fine. So we've got a Western card, or Korean. And it is... this is one I was talking about earlier. So M Sceptile EX. Again, this is one where if you had the Sceptile EX and then you evolved it into the M Sceptile EX, you would lose... your turn would end. This is like the primal versions. Your turn would end. But if you had the Spirit Link card, it didn't end. So that's from 2015, Ancient Origins, and that's come back as that's an 8 near mint to mint. Can't really complain with that one. I do wonder if the Japanese version of that's written in English. I don't have that, but we still got the Rayquaza EX card to come up. But I've lost... Oh no, it's at the bottom of a pile, isn't it? I got the Celebrations ones at the bottom of the pile. That's no good. But we still got the original one to come up, so it's fine. We'll remember what they look like. The Emerald Break M Rayquaza EX. Okay, so next up is... Oh, again, now this isn't a rare card, I don't think. But this is one of my favourite card designs of all time. This is a Ditto that looks like Pikachu. Now, this has come back as an excellent mint as a 6. I don't care, really, because this is not one that I'm going to sell. This is... It's not a card that you'd it's not I have cards that are my favourite in terms of ones that I play with, and I have cards that I have that are my favourites in terms of design. This is one of my favourite in terms of design ever. I absolutely love this card. The Ditto Pikachu. It's saying it's from a blister pack. I don't... Oh yeah, no, it probably was from a blister pack, actually. I don't really remember. But I love that card. I don't care that it's a 6. That's just one that I wanted to protect. I wanted it to be in a case behind plastic, and that's one that I will keep in my personal collection because I love... In fact, Metamorphosis Gene. They refer to Ditto turning into something as a Metamorphosis rather than Evolution. It should be Metamorphosis across the board. Point proven, I think. And rant proven. Next up, we have... that's not M Rayquaza EX, but that is the Rayquaza EX from 2015. I can't remember exactly from that. That's come back as a 5. That's interesting again, because that... I mean, if you were buying that ungraded, that looks pretty perfect, I have to say. The sides are fine. Oh, well, no, I mean, there's a very little bit around the edges. So you'd think that's maybe an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I have no idea why that's a 5. So that would be a bargain for somebody if they were buying it. I really like Rayquaza, and I really like the Rayquaza EX and Rayquaza EX. Sometimes colorless, because colorless Pokemon are really good to have in a deck because they obviously they're so versatile. And obviously this one also has, you could search your deck for Rayquaza EX, and if you have the Rayquaza EX Spirit Link as well, you can start to see how you can start building decks around cards like this. Really good card to play with. Obviously now it's not going to get played with behind the plastic, but if you're playing online, that might be one for... Obviously it's a little bit... 170 hit points is not huge these days, but you know what I mean. It's fine. Japanese card. I don't want any love chat, adult dating, thank you very much. Let's hide you. Don't know how many times you need to be reported before you disappear, but anyway. I think they do offer a breakdown of the reasons, but you have to pay. I think originally it was £5 a card, which people complained about, and I think now it's £2 a card. But obviously, I've sent in 120 cards or so. I do not want to pay £240 just to find out why things were graded the way they are, especially when a lot of these are gem mint. But anyway, but yeah, it is what it is. But again, I say it's just a thing. Like with ace grading, you know, pretty much anything over a 5, like that is a 5, but it's still classed as excellent. And you can see, like, if that was just said excellent, I could understand. I mean, that is in excellent condition. I can't argue whether it's in excellent condition. Is it in a 5 out of 10 condition? That I don't quite agree with. But whatever. It's their system. Japanese card. Okay. Yeah. Again, this is from Vmax Climax. So that is the Galarian Moltres V. And again, you can see that with a trainer in it. And I do like how the labels are continuations of the artwork, but it does look a little bit weird that that's hollow and that's not. I do like Galarian Moltres. Galarian Moltres looks mean. I like the legendary birds from the first generation games. Next up, we have Jolteon. Not Jolteon V, even though it's from the Vmax Climax, with Gary Oak. That's a 10 gem mint, and again, that's from Vmax Climax. These Vmax Climax cards have really cool artwork, and actually, again, this is a tip for you. If you're someone that likes to collect Pokemon cards, or you just like to get packs to open, Vmax Climax are not that expensive to buy packs. You can buy a booster box of, I can't remember how many packs you get in it. It's not that expensive, and there are so many really cool design cards in them. They're not expensive cards, they're not for people who are buying to get investment, but if you just like opening Pokemon cards for the fun of it and seeing what you get, Vmax Climax is a really good set for that, so I highly recommend that. So get them while you can. Korean or Western? Okay, so this is Mimikyu. This is actually it's an odd because it's a water type Mimikyu. This is from Celebrations, so obviously it's a re-release of an older card, but this is from, the Collector's Chest. So the Collector's Chest was, like I say, Celebrations had lots of different sets. It has the individual booster packs. It also had a few different boxes, it had a few different tins, but then it had a Collector's Chest, which was like an old school metal lunchbox. I can't remember where it is. It's over there somewhere on a shelf. Actually, really cool. Really cool. It also had like stickers and a notepad and all sorts in it. But it had 3 different cards, which might be the next ones to come through. So I'm going to leave Mimikyu there, and I'm just going to have a sneak peek. Yes, this was another one. This was Light Toxtricity, which I always struggle with, which is one of the 3. And then the other third one, is it this one? Oh, no, it's not. Let's just see if it is in this. Well, that's annoying for proving my point. The third one hasn't... Oh, wait, no. Was the third one the Umbreon that we saw earlier? The third one might have been the Umbreon that we saw earlier. I can't remember. But it was a set of 3, basically, that came through with those. So those are from that collector's tin. So next up, actually have one that's actually got a little bit of a story behind it. So again, this one is not one that I would be willing to sell. This is one that is for my personal collection because it has lots of memories attached. And that is an Alolan Vulpix, but it is a Toys R Us promo Alolan Vulpix. Now, the story behind this is where I was living in the previous house back in Kent. Obviously, Toys R Us closed down whilst I was living there, and we went just as it was announced that it was going to be closing down, and we bought a few things in there. We bought some Power Rangers toys for our future kids that obviously we're not going to have now, and we also got like a Mr. Men tote bag with Jeffrey on it and so on. But then I went back right before it closed, and I wish I'd gone a little bit earlier because it was right at the death of the store. A lot of the aisles were taped off, and what I actually ended up buying was I bought a lot of empty game cases because obviously Toys R Us had that system where there'd be things on the shelf that were empty, and then you'd take it to the counter and you'd get. So I bought a lot of like 3DS and PSP and Switch empty cases, because then obviously, you know, if you buy, because at the time I was like trying to build up the studio a little bit more. If you bought a game that was game only, or you could sometimes find the sleeve on eBay, and then it was worth having the box. But they had a few of these cards, which were individually wrapped. I have no idea what they were originally with, but they were just in sort of a thing at the end of the shelf. And there was a few different ones of it. I can't remember exactly what they all were, but I picked up a few of these. I think they were selling them for like 10p each. And I really wanted these, firstly because I like Vulpix and I like Alolan Vulpix, but it was nice to have one of those with that Toys R Us on there. Obviously I'm a 90s kid, and obviously Toys R Us had its flaws, but still, as a 90s kid, it was important. So this is one that, yeah, I will be holding on to. It's nice that it's now in a case. This one is not one that's ever going to go on eBay. This is for me. Although I think I do have a couple of these in this set, which might even be this one, because this is a Sylveon V. This is the English language version. So this is from the Evolving Skies. Again, I don't really know what to say about these other than they're pretty. I miss Toys R Us as well. Toys R Us was overpriced, so I'm not surprised that it died. But even throughout like my adult life and my student life when I was a teenager as well, or early 20s, I used to go to Toys R Us when I was bored or unhappy, because I would just walk around and see what toys they had or what games they like video game kiosks they had and things. My roommate in university, we used to go to Toys R Us all the time just to hang out there for a bit of fun. We met Coolio on the way to Toys R Us one year because he was playing our university, and we met him at the McDonald's on our way to Toys R Us. And we actually said also when we were... That one's hit me a little bit harder than I was expecting. We actually said that when we were dads, we would go to Toys R Us together every Christmas. Even though he was a Muslim guy, we would go together every Christmas to buy toys for our kids. And not only is Toys R Us gone, I'm going to move on because that one's hit me a bit harder than I was expecting. But anyway, next up, second to last in this box, is an Umbreon V. That one's also from Evolving Skies, a little bit like the Sylveon V. That was a 10 gem mint. That was a 9. Again, not much to say about them other than their pretty big artwork of the Eeveelutions. And then the last one for the penultimate box is a Japanese card. It is... Oh, wait, it's the Umbreon... Is it the same as this one? Yes, it is. It's the Single Strike Umbreon from Japanese. So this one was from Evolving Skies, and then this one was from Vmax Climax. Same card, exactly the same moves. Obviously, one's a Japanese one, one's a English one, all the way around. But completely different sets, because obviously there is no English language equivalent of Vmax Climax. And finally, the last box of this stream, and I will show you like just how many we've gone through over the last 3 hours when we've got to the end of this box, because it's a bit ridiculous, but just shows how many packs we opened on PokeMondays. Right, first card of the last box is another one of the what was the other one graded as? This one's only a 6. Was that an 8? That's an 8, the other one. But again, I don't know if I'll keep both of these. I might let one go. But there were more of these that had Toys R Us on them, but I think it's the only the Alolan Vulpix that I got graded. Because they're not actually that valuable. That those ones were just sort of for my personal collection. Because obviously, yeah, some cards aren't worth grading in terms of value. It's only worth grading if that you want to protect them. Next up, we have... this is a Centiskorch Vmax. This is the Shining Fates one. So I thought that was meant to be a shiny Centiskorch, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just that it's the Rainbow Centiskorch Vmax. But that's come through as that's cool because that's come through as a 10 gem mint, and it's the rainbow artwork. That's pretty cool. But I think there's a couple of one of these, so I'm going to put that aside because I think, is this next one going to be? Oh wait, no. So that was a Cinderace VMAX. That was a bit hard to see what it is exactly, but it's meant to say that's Cinderace, and then his ears coming as, and then that's just a big fireball basically. But I think there was a few different versions of this one and this one. This one's from Fusion Strike. This one's from Shining Fist. I think there are different versions of this artwork, so I'm going to put them aside and see whether or not I'm right about that or not, because I can't even remember if we found them. Oh, we got another Alolan V Vulpix from Toys R Us. I didn't realise. So we got a 6, a 7, and an 8 graded. Okay, so we got a third one of those. That's cool. And then this one is... Oh! Wow, I had more of them than I thought. Okay, so we got 4 of those. In which case, no, I won't be adding on to 4 of them. Okay, oh, so this is a Japanese version. Okay, so that's Jolteon V. Did we already see Jolteon Vmax in this? I think we did, didn't we? We'd already shown that at some point. Or maybe we showed the English version of it. That's the Eevee Heroes Jolteon V. In fact, am I going to sneak peek of the next one? Ah, no, okay. So that is the VMAX that goes with it. So those are the Eevee Heroes. Jolteon V and Jolteon VMAX. I think, yeah, so here we go. It says, yeah, so it says here, so it's a special set. So basically, what that means is this one, the Jolteon V, that was available in the normal boosters. The VMAX is in the special set, so that was in the special set boosters, which I can't remember how many cards they had in them, whether it's 1 or 4. But these were the normal boosters with lots of cards in. Those were the special boosters with fewer cards in. So that's where those are. The VMAXs are harder to find, but I think I got the 2 graded together because obviously they go as a set, the 2 of them, and they're both graded 9 as well, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Flareon GX. This was from, I was going to say this is from a tin. So it says Elemental Power Tin, but essentially it's just a tin that had this as the guaranteed card at the front, and then it had a few boosters underneath. I can't remember what boosters they were, but I think we opened this one up on our stream where we did like 120 plus boosters, which is like a random, or 100 plus boosters even, which was just like a random selection of boosters that were sort of odds and ends from various different streams. Then we have Palkia GX. What was that one? Forbidden Light 2018. I don't even remember what that one's from. Oh no, yes I know. No, I do. Forbidden Light was one of those boosters from that 120 booster stream. So that must have come out of that video that we did, that stream that we did. I do like Palkia. That was Pokemon Pearl? Yeah, Pokemon Pearl, wasn't it? Palkia? And then we have... Oh, okay, so I think I've got 2 different kinds of this card, I think. This is the Charizard and Brazen, I never know how to pronounce that one, GX. This is part of the tag team cards. So a little bit like how you got the legendary birds. These are 2 Pokemon that go together. They weren't just in like the team up boosters. They were in a few different Sun and Moon generation boosters. Yeah, SM Sun and Moon generation boosters. There was various different versions of the team up ones, but I think I have 2 different versions of this card. I just can't remember whether I got them both graded or not. Is it only Japan that has their own back with the rest? I don't know, actually, because actually I can show you one, and let me just lean over and get this one. This is a classic Togekiss card that I have from a Japanese booster that I got back in the day, like at least 10 years ago, if not more, probably 15 years ago. This is what they used to look like on the back. That's the Japanese. As you'll note, all in English. They don't call it Pokemon, they call it PokeMondays. As opposed to, say, on here, they say Pokemon. But on this, they say PokeMondays, and it's in English. And they don't say the PokeMondays trading card game, it's just the PokeMondays card game. This, hang on, what's the... I don't know what year that's from, because the copyright on the back is 96, but it's obviously this is second generation, so it's probably from around the year 99, 2000, something like that. that is what the original Japanese cards looked on the back. And obviously now it's the gold. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just Japan. As I say, we've seen a few Korean cards through this, and they've had the same as the Western one, because the Western one is obviously the same in English and English language, whether it's England or America. I've buried my Artbook Obscure, my French card now, but the French cards also use the same back as the English language ones. So I don't know, but I think yes, I think it is just Japan. From educated guess from what we've seen, it's just Japan that has the different backs on them. Okay, so next up we have... Okay, so this was a Rillaboom Vmax. So this is from Shining Fates. So again, that is... I think that is technically shiny Rillaboom. But it is, yeah, as I say, it's the rainbow version of it. Not particularly nice colours, just 2 different shades of brown on the label, but I guess, you know, it's meant to be the wood, I suppose. Not a huge fan of Rillaboom. He was the Pokemon I had in Sword and Shield, but again, Sword and Shield was a bit hit and miss for me. I liked the game, but it wasn't perfect. We got 2 cards left. So, penultimate card, we have a Japanese one, and it is Sylveon. Sylveon V from the Eevee Heroes one. It's this. Is it the? Hang on, we saw the English language version of that somewhere, didn't we? Bear with me 1 sec. 1 minute, caller. Yes, we did. So this is the Rapid Strike card. So this was in Evolving Skies in England, or in the West, I should say. That is the Sylveon V Rapid Strike, and that is the Sylveon Rapid Strike. That one was from the Eevee Heroes. Same artwork, completely different sets. Same card though, and still both Rapid Strike cards. And then finally, the last card is a Blastoise EX from 2014. Again, another slightly older one, but still come back as an 8 near mint. Not my favourite design, to be honest. I don't really like... Blastoise is a bit too CG on that. But it's obviously becoming a slightly collectible one. A, because it's 2014, and it's a Black Star promo. And also because it's Blastoise. That one was from a tin, so I believe that was like one that would be like... you'd see it through a little window, and then you get a few booster packs underneath. That was from the X and Y generation. And that's all of them. That is all 120. Now, just let me try and show you how much that... Let me zoom out for a sec. Ignore my sweaty armpits. I do apologise. And I'm going to focus on here. Let me just bring in all of the cards that we've been... It's actually, I don't think I'm even going to be able to do it, because there's that pile there, and then there's that pile. Like, God, these are heavy. There's that. I can't do it. It doesn't fit on the screen, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got like 6 or 7 of these piles, and they're out of focus, and they don't even fit on the screen. There's a lot. So, as I say, these are all cards that were either on PokeMondays streams or cards that were, packs that were bought for PokeMondays that we never actually ended up making streams on them. I'm going to try and keep bringing some in as I keep talking. Bear in mind, that's just to illustrate how tall these piles are. That's how tall these piles are. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep piling these on. Now, a lot of these are cards that I've had for years as well. Like some of these, like this one here, was not one that we saw on a stream. I can't do it because there's a whole other pile. And a whole other pile over here as well, which is just equally as tall. And then there's more over here, and then there's more over here, and then there's more. There's a whole other equally as tall pile. So we're going to be reaching the camera by the time we get to it. But that gives you an idea of just just how many there are. A lot of these are going to end up being sold to recoup the costs of PokeMondays. A fair few of them will end up in my personal collection, and you might even see them in the backgrounds of streams. I'm going to give up now because this is just piling way too high, and I'm going to cause an accident. Oh, there's another pile over there. So if there are any of these cards that you like, you want, you will be able to see them on our eBay store eventually at some point. Because they were bought for an, let's not talk about money or anything, but they were bought for an investment, and that's what they've been graded for. But I hope you've had fun watching them all come out of the boxes. I hope you had fun watching them all come out of packs originally over the last 6 months. And I hope you're going to join me for more PokeMondays streams in the future. Not necessarily Pokemon card related, but we are going to have plenty of other Pokemon streams coming up. Obviously, we're still going to do some Pokemon card stuff, and we have Pokemon Trading Card Game 2 coming up. I think it's going to be the next PokeMondays. I can't tell you when that's going to be yet, as I say, but it's not going to be next week. But we might see if we can try and do a stream where we do it all in one go. Because I think the last time we did it in 2 parts of about 8 hours each. Maybe we can do a 15-16 hour stream where we get through it all in one go. And then obviously we want to do Pokemon Brown, we want to do Pokemon Prism, maybe do the Eeveelution Pokemon X. So there's still plenty more to come. It's just that you won't be seeing it every week. And it's the same with Retro Wednesdays. Retro Wednesdays will not be live this week, but we will be back soon. And essentially it's just going to be it's going to be a little bit ad hoc, depending on how many videos that we got to work on, because obviously I want to get the Super Sentai Live Man video recorded and edited, and then I have a few other videos that I've written, some of which you may already know are coming because I've spoken about them on streams. Like I've got a review of Rugrats Search for Reptar, the PlayStation 1 game that we did on a Retro Wednesdays. I've got a video on whether or not the 1995 Power Rangers movie is canon video coming up, which I think we talked about on one of our watch party videos. So there's plenty more to come, plenty of Retro Wednesdays to come. As I say, we're going to do some more CSI game streams because they're a bit different than what you would normally see people streaming, but I actually really love those games, and considering I did a degree in criminology, psychology and forensics, that it's actually quite fun using my knowledge of that for these early 2000s PC Ubisoft games, which is a company I also worked for until last year. So there's loads still to come. I really don't, I hope if you were watching the channel update, you didn't think that streams are going to disappear. Of course they're not, but I do want to focus on making sure that you get the video content when you want to see it, and also focus on things like Totally Motors and a few other things as well. And and obviously there's a few things in the personal life as well, which have meant that's why things have had to be the way that they are. But as I say, you'll see these cards again, either on eBay, either on the background of my streams, because I like to display them on the shelves. But until the next one, guys, thank you very much for joining me on a stream that's longer than I was expecting. But until you can see all of these cards out in front of you, you don't realise that they looked a lot less when they were in the boxes. They oddly look more when they're less organised. But until then, I'll see you all next time. Have a good night, have a good day, if depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you in the next one, whenever that is. Either it's a Retro Wednesdays, a PokeMondays, or a watch party, or a video. I'll see you then.